everybody? I'm Zenith Rule, and welcome back to Zen Streams, where I stream one of the many different games in my collection. I can't talk today. The numerous different video games I have available, which is, I have a lot. And play through them and have a good time and use that footage for YouTube videos and all this other stuff. Today we're going to continue playing Kingdom Hearts RE Chain of Memories. We have some unfinished business. We only got a little bit done last time, and there are things going on. So the Kingdom Hearts stream is today, and we're going to get as far as I hope we can. I want to get try to get at least 3-4 worlds completed today, because I want to get this behind us. I don't want to have to keep going through this game, because it's not exactly the most pleasant game. It has honestly, I think it has a great story, but there's definitely a lot of problems, and I think that's going to be one of the things that we talk about. I already have the video set, like I said before. It's just, I'm trying to get the rest of things set up for it. But before we begin, I do have news. You may have heard this because I've been posting about it on Facebook and Twitter. But History of One Piece is officially coming back. I have been working with this behind the scenes for like maybe 2 to 3 months now, just trying to come up with an idea of what to do. So with the editors who did the previous couple of videos that I put out, the major videos, I talked to them and I said, all right, well, if I update these scripts, can we get them to the point where there's no copyright infringement with this? So I went back and I redid all the scripts. Essentially, I took the existing script I had from the Alvida arc. I wrote in an additional, I want to say 20 minutes of dialogue. I put a lot more into it. And I'm basically talking about the dub of One Piece this time around. I do still mention the sub, but I'm not showing any footage because Toei is Toei and fuck Toei. But yeah, so I recorded it. My rough audio editor already took care of the rough audio, sent that to the video editor. I just got the video edit back a couple days ago. So the first thing I did was I downloaded it, and I uploaded a test copy to test for copyright, and thankfully everything checks out. Every single thing is all set. There was no copyright claims. Everything was working. So I decided to move forward with it. So I looked over the video. I found a few minor things that I need to change, but overall nothing really major, nothing that really needs too much attention. So I presented the changes to my editor. He's gonna get that back sometime next week. I'm gonna pay for it, and then we're gonna go to the final audio stage, and so hopefully I'm gonna have that up September. But yeah, so History of One Piece is officially coming back. I will stream it. The final video will be streamed on Twitter at some point beforehand. I'll premiere it there, but it's looking really good right now. I'm really proud of this. And then I also have started working on the second script. Let me just say that this is the one that I've been dreading. The second episode, the second arc of History of One Piece is essentially the arc that has given me the most problems. Kitty, get down from there. Acting crazy. What's going on, Itchy?
It's not much. Just got finished watching newest One Piece.
Nice.
Probably the best episode ever. Just saying, don't want to spoil anything for you, of course.
Yeah. I've actually I'm reading the Whole Cake Island arc right now, which is, so far it's really good. And I'm enjoying what's happening right now. But I've also been focusing my attentions, like I said, on the Captain Morgan arc script. The Captain Morgan arc... the weird thing is, when I first did History of One Piece, that... when I first wrote that Alvida arc script, that was originally intended to be one video. So when it got split into 4 parts, it still ended up feeling like it flowed together. Like when I eventually put out all 4 parts, the Captain Morgan arc was 4 separate videos that were scripted months apart, had no coherent flow together, and had basically, it felt like I was trying different things with each different video, and it didn't feel streamlined until the next arc. So trying to streamline this 4 scripts into 1 script is going to be interesting.
That definitely does sound like a hassle.
Yeah, I'm almost wondering if I want to, take a couple of these things out, or at least cut out a lot of the stuff that I had with Luffy, because I wrote an entire script on Luffy's character development, and honestly, a lot of that stuff I could probably just talk about later, because a lot of this arc is supposed to be about Zoro and not Luffy, so yeah, I could probably shorten that down a lot. Hey Ari, yeah, I'm glad you're okay. I know things are a little bit tough right now, but I'm here. And I didn't do DDLC because I didn't want to put you on the spot. So just take the time to rest, and just, I hope everything's gonna be okay. But you know where to find me if you need anything, okay? But yeah, speaking of the manga. But before we dive into Kingdom Hearts, let's talk a little bit about the manga right now. So I started Whole Cake. I'm at chapter 829. That's where I just finished. And that essentially... Wait a second. Why is this not working? I think I need to reset something. Now it's finally updating. That's weird. The Twitch bar didn't update for a second. All right, Ari. But yeah, just feel better. Let me know if everything's okay. You know where to find me. But yeah, quickly, Whole Cake, chapter 829. I'm at the part where they just started introducing the Germa 66, which are Sanji's family, and I just saw 1 and 2, which we didn't get their names, but I imagine since we have Sanji and Yonji, we'll probably have Ichi-ji and Niji, because we have then Reiji.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay. Because basically they're named after numbers. Yeah, I like the look of Germa 66. They look cool. They can walk on water. I like Reiji's really, really pretty, so I'm rooting for her. Let's see. I met a little bit of Big Mam's crew, silhouettes. I saw Big Mam has a talking sun, a talking rainbows, talking clouds, a talking door. I don't know what kind of drugs this arc is on, but it feels like Thriller Bark, where Gecko Moria was sewing everything together in a horror trope. Only now everything's like a cartoon. It's very weird.
Yeah, it does kind of have the same vibe. They pretty much do have the same powers, devil fruit wise.
Yeah, so it's I'm definitely getting a Thriller Bark vibe here, but here it's more creepy because she's all happy about everything, and there's a sinister veneer behind that happiness. Especially since we saw her I think eating someone alive at the end of Fishman Island arc.
That definitely happened.
So I'm not entirely sure too much more about it, but Big Mam was revealed and she looks like a boss. And so there's a lot of really big things happening right now. We met Pudding. Pudding is also really pretty, and I totally ship her with Sanji. Um,
Well, the
but
manga does that for you.
yeah, the manga does that for me, but I'm like, this is the first woman that actually legitimately loves Sanji. And that we know that he would be into her as well. So yeah, like I totally can see this happening. Um yeah, like that I haven't gone much farther than that. It's only like 4 chapters into the arc, but like there's stuff happening right now. I didn't really like one major portion, and that was Luffy trying and failing to cook all their rations, starving his crew for 3 days, catching a fish, eating it, finding out it's poisonous, and then needing to be saved. And I mean, this is meant to introduce Reiju, but it all feels like a little bit of character regression for Luffy, especially since, well, he has poison resistance. Like, a lot of the stuff, it reminds me of, like, earlier arcs before he had the time skip, and I felt like he got a little bit more mature after the time skip. I'm not saying he doesn't have fatal flaws, like, he totally would eat the fish, but, like, some of it definitely feels like Oda wanted to make a joke, and it kind of went a little bit too far.
There's your future king of the pirates, everybody. Guy just dies from food poisoning.
Yeah, it's saved because Reiju has some sort of poison powers or something. I don't know. Maybe she has a quirk.
It's super make-out powers. That's what it is.
But yeah, like that's where I am at in One Piece right now. I still need to read more, but I'm liking it really much so far. I mean, it definitely feels like everything is so big, but also like the interesting thing I like about the new world is that everything from right now feels like an extension of previous things. Like, because Doflamingo, which was one of the major threats that was foreshadowed back in, like, when they got to the Grand Line, Doflamingo is a subordinate of Big Ma'am. And so,
it's more like Kaido. He's basically like an arms dealer for like the underworld.
Yeah, like there's a lot of stuff that he's involved in, but there's also Caesar Clown, which was involved with Doflamingo, and Doflamingo is underneath Big Ma'am, and so there's a huge hierarchy to everything. I'm not talking about the Voltron controversy, Sassy. I just said that. I haven't seen it. Yeah, like I like how everything feels much more like a progression of like here are these really, really monstrous people, but hey, Luffy's able to beat them, but they were just subordinates of a bigger crew. And I mean, a pirate crew's subordinate to pirate crews, which is interesting. Kind of like Whitebeard, so you get to really see the power of the Yonko. The pirate emperors are pretty badass, so I'm really enjoying a lot of the stuff that they're doing in the new world. I've loved that. Like, Dressrosa is currently my favorite arc, simply because it felt like the ending to a big tension with Doflamingo, and they built it up from the beginning of the new world, but there's still more going on. It was like the beginning of something more, so it's like I really like that. Are there problems? Yes. I think Oda has a problem with information dumps sometimes. Not as bad as he used to be, but he has information dumps and a lot of character regression. Sanji's back to normal now, but like in the new world, he was acting a little bit regressive to a certain point, and I feel like Oda, when he feels he's taken his characters to a certain point, just regresses them so they can learn the lesson again. I don't know. But yeah, like, this new world stuff is great. Kaido's crew look freaking badass. Like, just one of his crew members is worth 1 billion berries. No, is it 1 billion? Jack the Drought, that's 1 billion, right?
I think so. I know Katakuri, who's in Big Mom's crew, is worth 1 billion berry. I forget what Jax is.
Yeah, that's what I believe, and I know he has the 3 disasters. And granted, we've only seen a little bit of them, and they haven't even really faced Luffy. So, like they're setting up for Wano, and they're getting stuff set up for Kaido, and then after Big Mom, like the big things are really kicking off, and
they're bringing back a bunch of the worst generation guys too.
yeah, a lot of the worst generation. Eustace was trying to take on Kaido and failing.
Yeah, he got his ass handed to him.
But yeah,
then I think Hawkins works under Kaido too.
Yeah. There was an alliance with Eustace, Hawkins, and I think not Uruj. No, Scratch Manapoo. It's hard to remember because the Supernova are still involved in the story, but it's not like they're not as big as they used to be. They're still around, but it's like Oda. I feel like Oda wanted to do a lot more with them, but after like all the stuff with the invasion of well, basically the stuff with the time skip and all the other stuff, like he introduced them, he wanted to do stuff later, but then he had like 4 or 5 arcs, and then he realized, well, they're gonna have to go to a new ocean, and these guys really aren't super strong. I hope they do more later on, but I mean, at the moment, they're not really pulling their weight. I'm more intrigued as to what's going to happen with, the Yonko and their crews, and I still think it's pretty damn awesome that Luffy has a fleet.
Yeah, that is just the hilarious thing, that there's this whole fleet of other captains that just force themselves to be under Luffy.
Yeah. Another thing that I really liked, I really love the fact that Dressrosa introduced all these characters as potential allies and actual allies. Like, in addition to the fleet, we have more people that are going to participate in the reverie, but now we find out that the Germa 66, one of which is already friendly to Luffy, even if they're enemies, they also can participate in the reverie, and so can, I believe, Big Mam's big. She's not going to be in the reverie, but like there are people in this arc that are potential allies. So like I definitely feel like everywhere Luffy goes, he has this weird luck of making everyone his friend. No, I don't know anything about Precure.
Well, unfortunately, he's not going to make friends with the Yonkos.
Well, he's not, but then again, he already made an enemy of Big Mam.
Mm-hmm. I've taken all her candy.
I'm gonna take all your candy and have you eat someone alive. What's up, Nick?
I remember.
How you doing, guys?
There was another girl.
Day?
It's been a day. It has been a day.
No. I mean on the
Well,
islands where I used to live.
I'm
Besides
busy
Kyrie and
capturing
Riku, there was
footage
one
for
other
all
girl I was
3
friends
Spyro
with.
games. Just finished
Before
the
the
3rd
Spyro
one,
Line.
but I'm having a bit of a problem. I'm seeming to
Seems
get
to me
having
that's the first
memories of
time
this
you've mentioned her.
other
Yeah,
Spyro game
I
I
guess
played
forgot all about her.
years ago. It was after the first
She
3,
just suddenly
and
went
yet
away when I was still really little.
it's almost like I'm trying to remember it, but I just
I'm not
something
but it's
Dragonfly?
really bad in pieces.
I only played the first one, so I don't know.
Yours, do you remember her name?
Alright, I'm joking. Okay, it's Enter the Dragonfly.
I've like
Like
I
the
said,
real
I've heard
It's notoriously bad.
Yeah, but I have never played it myself. Then again, the same thing happened with Crash, and like the 4th one is like the black sheep of the franchise. Not counting not counting Crash Team Racing or whatever it is.
No, I know what you mean. It was the first one without Naughty Dog, and Enter the Dragonfly was the first one without Insomniac.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a big deal for me because I was such a Spyro fan growing up to have it.
I was not able to really buy a lot of games when I was that young, so essentially I would...
Oh, look, trust me, I know what you mean.
Like,
I remember growing up, I had a Mega Drive as a kid, and I constantly begged my mum and dad for a Saturn. Dodged a bullet with that one.
I ended up buying most of my games because my parents would only buy me like one game a year. If I like for Christmas or for my birthday, like one game. So I eventually just saved up and bought my games.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it ended up being where I bought myself Crash Bandicoot Warped, and I've played the first one, but I never owned the second one as far as I remember. And then like I don't remember owning Spyro, but I played it over at the YMCA. Like I played games wherever I could, but my parents did not want me playing video games because they thought they would rot my brain. And now you see where I am today.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to Spyro. I actually need to play the original versions first. That's kind of what I want to do with the Crash games, because I want to experience the original before playing the remake, because I know they play differently.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true. Because I grew up with Spyro and Crash. I mean, those were my PlayStation franchises. I didn't play Tomb Raider. I didn't play Metal Gear. I didn't even play Final Fantasy. I didn't play any of those stuff. I had Spyro and I had Crash, and I was happy.
I actually for a while I only had like 5 games when I was a kid. Like I had a few for Super Nintendo, but then I sold my system like an idiot. So like I pretty much sold my system, all my games. I had a couple for Nintendo, and that I ended up like going missing. I'm pretty sure my parents like sold it in a yard sale, thinking that I didn't want it anymore, because my parents would do stuff like that. But so like for a while I just had maybe a couple of PlayStation games, but even then like some of them I didn't like because they were so damn hard. For example, I think I had the original Rayman and I never could get very far in it. So it was always something like that. Like I had a couple games that I would play to death, like Final Fantasy IX, but for the most part I wasn't like a big gamer back then until the PS2 era, until I played Kingdom Hearts 1. That's when I started really collecting games. So that's why like behind me I only have, you know, a few PlayStation games, like not very many. Simply because when I was a kid, I didn't hold on to a lot of it because I wasn't very big into those types of games. Because, to be honest, there is kind of an old school difficulty curve, even for PS1 games. Like that was where things started to shift, where like they started getting a little bit more accessible, a little bit easier. I mean, if you think about it, like stuff like Jak and Daxter, while Jak 2 had some difficulty curve, it was not nearly as bad as, for example, Ys, which we just completed on the show. So yeah, three games underneath our belt, but that final boss in Ys 1 is like nightmarishly difficult. Would you say, Ichi? Because you were there.
Yeah, that was a whole lot of bullshit.
My gaming story, like my story's been like yours, Zen, but I didn't really get into gaming until the Wii came out. I had a PS1 during the 90s. I had Spyro and Crash, and then in 2001, my house got broken into and everything got stolen.
I understand that.
Yeah, but what happened was, this was in 2000 and it was either 2000 or 2001. Anyway, it was actually insured, so I got about $1,000 for it, and I actually had my heart set on getting a PS2, but there was one big problem. Have a guess how much the PS2 cost in Australia at launch.
$2,000.
Funny, no, that's what an iPhone X costs now. No, because the Aussie dollar was so weak back in 2000, 2001, it cost $750.
Damn.
So, I don't want anyone bitch about $5.99. So, being a 12-year-old who always was listening to his mother, she convinced me to buy a PS1 in 2001 because I'd be able to buy more games. And that was the same year the PS1 was pretty much discontinued. So I was like, oh, what am I going to do with this now? So I did end up getting... Yeah, but at least I ended up getting... within the next year or two, I did get a GameCube because it was much cheaper than a PS2. I think it was like $150, $200. But the thing was, believe it or not, I wasn't a big Nintendo guy. I wasn't.
Oh boy, we're dropping frames like crazy. What's going on? Is it it must be the storm. We have a thunderstorm for the weekend, so I think we're having problems.
Damn.
Anyway,
okay.
Yeah, I'll keep going, but yeah, see how that goes.
So yeah, I did get a GameCube, but I wasn't getting, the Zeldas and the Metroids and the Smash Brothers and the other stuff I now have. Because A, I wasn't a big Nintendo guy, and B, the stores in my town weren't high on selling GameCube because it was either PS2 or Xbox. The major stores just weren't selling GameCube games. Or it might be like in a small section. So I remember the first titles I got for the GameCube were Super Mario Sunshine, Mario Kart Double Dash, and Finding Nemo the game.
Oh god. You want to know something funny? I wasn't going... I was originally going to get the GameCube. My plan for the GameCube was... I was going to get it when it was called Project Dolphin, but after a while, my friends were all getting the PS2, and there were some really great games. So that's what I ended up asking my parents for because I saw the trailer for Kingdom Hearts 1. I was reading into things, and I had a choice of a PS2, or a Dolphin, codenamed Dolphin. But yeah, those were my choices, and it was interesting to me because I saw that commercial for Kingdom Hearts, and that's what really sold me on a specific system. Now, flash forward a few years later, and here I am, where I ended up buying a GameCube because I saw Metroid Prime in action, and Metroid Prime is one of my favorite games.
Oh, dude, yeah. But I wasn't. The funny thing was, I was so misinformed. I had little knowledge of gaming when I was growing up. The thing was, I really had no knowledge of Nintendo. I didn't know about Zelda until Ocarina of Time. I didn't really knew about Metroid until I saw the Angry Video Game Nerd playing it on the Power Glove. I really had no real knowledge about any of it. So I didn't know about how big of a deal Smash Brothers was. I was so in my own little world when it came to gaming, because I guess one of the reasons was I didn't have the internet. I didn't buy magazines.
Yeah, I had.
I would leaf through them in the news agent, but that was about it.
Oh, we're still dropping frames. What is going? I guess.
I'm watching you. I'm watching you through Chromecast, and it's fine. It's streaming fine. It was weird. I was streaming. I was doing the Smash Direct reaction a few days ago live. And while YouTube was saying, "Oh, we're getting problems with your stream," everyone was just like, "It's fine, dude." I'm like, so.
Is it fine for everyone else? Is it good? Because it's telling me I'm dropping a lot of frames. I don't know if they're from my webcam.
There might be a there might be a freeze or two, but there's been no real issue.
Yeah,
It's coming in,
I've been
coming in
looking
loud
out.
and clear.
Looks fine to me.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'll just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So there are days where I don't even know, but yeah.
But what was I saying? Yeah, I there was a time when I only found out about the Spyro when they were making a sequel to Spyro 2 when I managed to get onto the PlayStation website and I saw Spyro 2 working title. I'm like, Dad, they're making a new Spyro game. They're making a new Spyro game. Well, we better go get that for you for your birthday. Hey! I actually remember getting Spyro 2 for Christmas and just sitting alone in my game room and just playing it all day. My parents said it was the best Christmas ever because we all just shut up and just play with our gifts all day. That's the best Christmas for parents, when the kids just shut up and just enjoy their gifts.
As for me, my best Christmas was I got Kingdom Hearts. Now, I didn't ask for anything else. I asked for a PS2 and Kingdom Hearts the year that it came out. No, it wasn't the year it came. It was 2002. And so I asked for that, and I got Final Fantasy X from a family friend. So that was a good year. That was a very good Christmas. I got a lot of really good games that year, and I really started getting more into games. That was also the year I got Enter the Matrix. Now, Enter the Matrix is a horrible, horrible game. But the thing is, when you have friends and they gather in your room, like I had my room, I had 3 chairs, I had everyone around my TV playing the damn game, taking turns, riffing the hell out of it. Like, that is what is worth
That's the thing.
it.
That's the thing. That's what makes bad games so good, when you're indulging with other people you love. That's the best thing.
Yeah, like, just for me, just playing through that, and that's why I say to people, like, people who say, oh my god, this is the worst game ever, it's like, no, I've played the worst games ever. Have you played Terminator Salvation? Have you played games that are basically unplayable? Have you played games that just don't do anything enjoyable whatsoever? Like
Bro, I played Reboot on PlayStation 1. I've seen bad. Ugh.
And that's the thing. Like, people like to complain about stuff, and I'm like, no, I play bad games. I've played some of the games that are supposedly supposed to be really, really bad. Like, say, Legend of Korra, a lot of people didn't like it. I'm just like, this is actually not a bad game. Like, it was highly enjoyable.
Are you talking the Platinum Korra game?
Yeah, the Platinum Games one.
Well, they're definitely better than the ones that were made for The Last Airbender. The original series were terrible. Especially they were froze for a second there on the stream.
Yeah.
That was it.
Oh god, it says we've dropped 700 frames since we started.
Well, if that was 700 frames, that would probably been like 20 frames at least.
Over the course of half an hour, I'm kind of.
All right.
I mean, part of this is. Let me pause this for a sec. Part of this is I'm also gaining footage, and I use this stream footage to use later.
Okay, so you're recording the direct HDMI feed from your console.
No, I'm taking the stream, and then I use the stream as footage. So if there are problems with a stream like this, then we're gonna have a bad time.
Nah, look, it's coming in fine, man. Besides a few little freezes here or there, it's been fine.
I guess. All right.
It's gonna be fine.
But yeah. So, what was I saying? I've completely forgotten my. You
You got Christmas. You got Kingdom Hearts. You got PS. Oh, you were playing bad games. You've played some really bad games.
Yeah, I've played some bad games in my time. So, like, I like to give games a lot of leeway, and usually the benefit of the doubt, because at least when I play them, I know that they have, you know, a little bit of value to them. And I've gotten some good gems. Like, I really like the Platinum Games Legend of Korra, but no one else seems to like that one for some reason. There have been quite a few that I've just really latched onto that everyone's just like, oh no, that's just okay. And I'm like, well, yeah, but people say 7 out of 10 is a bad score, and it's not. So, you know, that's people's mentalities are weird. Hello?
Yeah, sometimes it's just easier to hate on something.
Yeah, definitely.
Guys, you cut out for a second there.
No, we were just listening. I thought you hadn't finished.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, we're getting some major connection issues, not just with the stream, but with Discord. But then I've been having problems with the Discord all day. I'm not quite sure what it is. I mean, again, we are having storms, but
It's been raining all day for me too, and Discord has been working fine for me so far.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it pans out. If it gets any worse, then I'll stop the stream, and then I just won't save my game.
Yeah. Has anyone seen the footage of Doom Eternal yet?
Well,
No,
I've seen the footage that was
saw
at
the-
E3.
Well, they've just shown, you know, gameplay footage from QuakeCon, and oh my god, looks so good. Like you could shoot a slingshot, you could shoot a grappling hook into an enemy and just catapult yourself into them, and shove your shotgun into their mouths, and oh my god,
That sounds like a euphemism for something.
and Doom Guy has a mounted flamethrower on his shoulder.
But does he have laser sight machine guns?
Pass. He's got a lot of guns. They're really cool. So, let's see. Hang on. There were people who. I remember I uploaded my reaction for Doom Eternal from E3 on YouTube, and I think we were all there, including you, Zen, and people were commenting on everyone's comments. Hang on. Where is it?
Commenting on the comments? Like, what is this, commentception?
Yeah. It's commentception. Yeah. See, some of the comments that were made on my video.
Darkness. No parents.
LOL, the guy complains about continuity in a Doom game. It's Doom, bruh. That's all we need to know. I'm gonna sing the Doom song now. Doom, 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 doom. That was you.
Oh, I earned a trophy, yay, card breaker.
Brain crabs and scorpions. I'm gonna sing the Doom song. Doom, 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 doom. The end.
Who's the one talking about continuity?
I think that was Duke.
I don't know.
Doom 3 have no, shut up. It's Doom, bruh.
Oh god, now we're losing frames like crazy. We're at... I'm sorry, guys.
I'm back.
The stream is definitely skipping a bit.
Yeah, we're having some problems. Eli, you came in at just the wrong time, unfortunately. I've been losing, like, dropping frames like crazy all night, and I feel like the storm is giving us issues.
Maybe we should just reset the connection, see how that goes.
Everybody, I am back. We've had some technical difficulties, but I've reset my internet, and hopefully that fixes the problem. Let me just quickly do a check here. I'm not dropping any frames. Everything appears to be good. I'm just gonna not do that. Let me finish this battle and I can check something. Because this at least tells me if I'll be dropping frames. Okay. I think we're good now. I think we're good. Let's see, notifications. I just gotta... Thus far, we haven't even really done much. We've had a little bit of the story, but honestly, there's not too much in this section. And we got a trophy for breaking enemy cards. Nothing too major, honestly. Card breaker. Break an enemy's card 1,500 times.
You're a card breaker.
And I'll test in chat. Okay, good. Good. Well, I don't have any issues on my end. Everything seems to be coming loud and clear. So let's get back to what we were saying earlier.
We were actually just starting to talk about the Smash Brothers Direct that just happened.
I have not seen it, but I know all the developments, so talk away.
And I'm with you, Nick. I do think that Shantae should get in as an assist trophy as well.
I feel like they should just, at this point, have the ability to put whatever character you want. Like, you create the fighting style of the character, and then, like... Honestly, they should just allow mods. Because at this point, while they want to control everything, it would probably be beneficial to have a setup where people wouldn't really have to work too hard to get their favorite characters in the game.
Well, if you want that, you could just play Mugen. If you can figure out how.
You're actually suggesting that Nintendo do something that benefits its fans. It's never gonna happen.
You're right. I know.
Okay,
I know.
now, the fact they announced Crystal, Brave Fox, Zero, Knuckles, and Shovel Knight makes you wonder, why couldn't you include Shantae? Because I can guarantee you there's gonna be...
Crystal is in there?
Yeah, from Star Fox Adventures.
Oh, is that
That's
one of the Echo
trophy.
Fighters? Oh no, assist. Okay.
No, assist. These are all assists. So Knuckles, Grey Fox, Zero, they're all assists, not Echo Fighters, as much as we would want to. The fact that they didn't announce Shantae makes you wonder, are they going to include more for her? Like, is she going to come in as an actual character?
Do they own the rights? Because, I mean, the last platform she was on...
No, that's not no, because I'm going to say that Way Forward would have no issue. There'd be no issue with Way Forward having Shantae in Smash.
I mean, I know they would want it in there, but also there is an issue of, you know, who owns what, because Nintendo loves owning things.
Yeah, but they don't own Sun Belmont, they don't own Pac-Man, they don't own...
Konami doesn't
Solid
care.
Snake.
Konami...
They don't own... They don't own Mega...
They don't care in multiple ways, but still.
They don't own Mega Man. Basically what I'm saying is that there's no legal issue with having... Because when the Smash ballot was happening, Way Forward were basically campaigning personally to get Shantae into Smash.
Yacht Club Games was doing the same for Shovel Knight, and I voted for him, so...
Oh yeah, definitely, me too.
I voted for Giffany.
From Gravity Falls?
Yes, she technically is a fighting game character.
Well, okay. Well, to be fair, as much as I did vote for Shantae and Shovel Knight, I don't blame them for going with Bayonetta. Because if you're gonna go with a sexy magical dancing deity, you may as well go with the one you spend all the money getting exclusive rights to.
Yeah, I don't blame them for going with Bayonetta either.
Bayonetta makes sense.
By the way, what do you think of the rumor that Shadow's going to be playable?
I totally think that's a definite thing, that he's going to be an Echo Fighter for Sonic.
I mean,
That
they
just makes
have
so much
Sonic.
Wait,
They have Sonic at this point. It's something that I remember, like, when we said, oh, like, remember when they announced some of these characters and we're just like, if you had told us 20 years ago that some of these characters would all be in the same game, like Mega Man, Pac-Man, Sonic, and
Cloud,
Bayonetta, God, why can't I remember his Solid Snake. Like, you would have thought we were mad because these are all competing franchises. And now we have the possibility of Shadow the Hedgehog possibly using guns.
Oh god. Well, to be fair, if this was 20 years ago, I would have gone, who the fuck is Bayonetta?
Shut up. And it would be more Miss Pac-Man.
And Ryu too.
You know, at this point, you might as well just include quote from Cave Story. We still have Crystal Crisis for that.
No. Well, as much as I want to have Crow and Kelly brace, they will obviously they would most likely be assist trophies.
Probably.
Alongside Isaac.
From the Binding of Isaac.
Yeah.
Personally, I actually have not. Well, I've played a little bit of Binding of Isaac. I need to play more, but I've never played Cave Story, so that would be an interesting one for me. It would make me want to. Here's the thing: Smash makes me want to play the games that these characters are in. So by including these characters,
then it's doing its job.
It's doing its job.
I'm just glad. Well, the thing is, it seems like the game that they most want you to play is Fire Emblem.
Except they only.
I guarantee you that they're going to include a character from the new Three Houses game. That's going to be announced. I can guarantee it as DLC. But there is one character that I am absolutely shocked hasn't been announced for Smash yet.
Pikachu?
Pikachu's in Smash, come on.
I know.
Springman.
No one likes ARMS, as far as I've been told. Aside from Dr.
Really?
Crafty. A lot of people really didn't like ARMS.
I didn't mind ARMS. I mean, it isn't my kind of thing because I'm not a fighting game, but it was fun.
You're not a fighting game? Am I a fighting game?
No, but the thing is, it should be obvious to have somebody from ARMS, even just featured as an assist trophy. The fact that there's been no inclusion of ARMS at all is just... Really?
I just think that it didn't do very well. From what I've seen of other reviewers, granted, I haven't played the game because I don't own a Switch, but a lot of people didn't like it. The only person that I've seen really talk up ARMS was Dr. Crafty, but then again, Dr. Crafty, is a big Nintendo person, so I can understand that. So it's like there is a certain bias there. Like I will acknowledge I have a huge Sony bias, but I try to give the benefit of the doubt. But from what I'm seeing, like Nintendo people, for the most part, don't really like the game. But I don't know.
Well, okay. While Splatoon has sold 6 million copies, ARMS has at least sold 2 million copies worldwide. That's actually more than Xenoblade 2.
Hey.
Okay, two things. One, because I haven't played ARMS, when you first said Springman, I thought of the Robot Master.
Come on. Everyone say hi to Chiaki.
Hi, Chiaki.
Bye, Chiaki. She's like, I want to sit in your lap. No, I don't want to sit on your lap. Okay.
And the other thing, if they include anyone from ARMS, we all know it should be Twintel.
That's probably the reason why there hasn't been an announcement for a character from ARMS. They can't decide which one to put in.
I think like Ribbon Girl, or maybe the one that's like Diva would be a good fit, but
yeah,
I honestly really like the Noodle one.
the wacky inflatable arm filling tube man.
That's what they all are.
Min Min's
Yeah.
definitely my favorite.
Yeah, there's a lot of waifus in ARMS. There's waifu in a mech suit, and waifu with that ass.
With her in it, the game's just called Arse.
By the way, guys,
Damn!
can you do me a favor?
She got a gray ass!
Hang on, Zen. What would you like us to do?
Can you tweet out the episode again, since I had I had the episode up and then I'm pretty sure it tweets when I go
The
live.
tweet? You mean that? Yeah. Look, Restream just tweeted you again like 10 minutes ago when you went back online. So I'm just gonna retweet that.
Yeah, that's fine. I just, because I wanted people to know I'm actually still streaming, and granted, some people catch things at odd times.
I'm just absolutely shocked that Doom Eternal is coming to Switch.
I'm not.
And it's not even,
They
well, the
had
thing is-
Skyrim. Once you have Skyrim on the console,
hang on.
they had Binding of Isaac.
You are aware that Doom Eternal was not running on the engine that was running Doom, right? Doom Eternal was running on a brand new id Tech 7 engine. The fact that they're able to get that running on anyway, I'm just wondering how the performance is going to be, because it's either really powerful and it's going to run at like 10 frames per second on Switch,
Or it's
Oh,
gonna
I'm
kill
so-
the battery.
I'm sorry, Nick, but when you said Doom Eternal just now with your accent, it sounded like you said Timmy Turner.
No, don't mention anything Butch Harmon related right now. Fuck him. Fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him.
Sorry.
Actually, no, don't fuck him. That would be too much pleasure for him.
Okay.
Christian
What was I gonna
value.
say? Because I'm wondering, is either that or the id Tech 7 has actually been designed to cater to both console and mobile platforms. Because that's essentially what the Switch is. It's basically running on the same tech that a Samsung Galaxy runs on, only much more powerful.
Hopefully it's not the Note 7 software.
Well, no.
All of a sudden, it explodes.
No, what I'm saying is, you know how the PS4 and the Xbox One use x86 architecture, so they're like a PC?
So that it has red rings of death?
Yeah, basically the Switch uses ARM architecture, which is like a mobile, which is why there are so many mobile ports on the Switch, like Fallout Shelter.
Wait a sec.
So-
They use ARM tech for the Switch?
Yeah, the ARM architecture, ARM.
So that's why, that's what the people who
Yeah, that's
develop.
why.
That's why it's called ARMS.
Because if there's anything that Nintendo loves more than owning things, it's puns.
Well, to be fair, that's not exactly true, because there's one major series they actually technically don't own. They don't own Pokemon.
Well, yeah, because that's Game Freak, right?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, they don't own because while Game
Okay,
Freak
what's
are
that noise
legally-
in the background?
Fucking
hear that?
ad. It's a fucking ad, sorry.
Like I was gonna say, Pokemon, they own Nintendo don't own Pokemon the game. Game Freak could actually go and make a Pokemon game for PS Vita tomorrow. However, Nintendo do own the characters.
Okay,
So
okay,
Nintendo
Kitty.
do own Pikachu. So if Game Freak announced Pokemon for Vita, I don't know why, it would be a completely new series of Pokemon.
I just want a console Pokemon game, god damn it.
It's coming next year. Be patient, God damn it. It takes
it's
time.
this year too.
Okay, you're gonna get that bloody Hey You Eevee and Hey You Pikachu game. So
I just
Jesus,
want to be
man.
able to play it not on the go, like I can actually sit down and enjoy it. If I were to stream it, I would have to like use my PC or something, like, but that that would not be official.
Or Game Boy player if you want to play the old school stuff.
I do have a Game Boy player. I'm not sure how well it's working though, because it was having problems with Chain of Memories, but I'm not sure if that's the cartridge or not. I don't know. Game Boys, an old technology, so it's not exactly something that's easy to tell if it's working or not. And I'm not an expert. Far from it. I'm very bad when it comes to old school tech. I was not.
I'm bad. I'm bad. You know I'm really bad. You know I'm bad.
I just so you guys know, like, retro games are not my bag because A, old technology, and B, I'm really bad at them. To be honest, like anything pre PS1 era, I suck at, and even some PS1 games, I'm not that good. I'm getting better, but it's like these are the types of games that you really need a particular set of skills, and I'm not the guy from Taken. I'm not I don't have that particular set of skills. I have to build it as I play, and so it's like when people say get good, that's what I'm doing whenever I play a retro game. It's like I have to like get better, but it's a different type of restriction in those days, a different type of play style, different type of challenge, I would say, but it's more an arbitrary challenge in general. So yeah, like it's one of those things where I fully acknowledge I'm bad at them, but I think that's more the fault of the old school design than anything. And anyone who complains, oh, games are too easy nowadays, so I just say, well, yeah, they're accessible. Yay, thank you for the bits.
I wouldn't say games have gone easier. I would say people have gone better at them. Like, I mentioned how I replayed the Spyro, the original Spyro trilogy for my new video I'm working on. The first time I had Spyro, it took me months to play it. Heck, some parts of it actually scared me. I'm not kidding. There were actually parts of Spyro the Dragon 1 that actually scared me.
So what you're saying is games haven't gotten easier, people have gotten harder.
But when I played it again, I finished it in like a day or two. Like completely, 120% completed it.
Oh, we got another trophy, Interceptor. I think I know what that is for. Essentially, that is basically for attacking and stunning Heartless before entering the field. So yeah, we getting trophies. I'm not even trying. I'm just trying to get through the story this time around. So I'll work on 100%ing the game after we get the footage needed for the story. Let's go past this part. In fact, I don't want to play this game again.
Neither do I.
Again, like I feel like I'm a broken record in saying this. I like the story. I think the story does good things. It just, part of it feels unnecessary. Like the stuff with Zexion and Lexaeus were just horrible, story-wise. They were great bosses, but they didn't add anything to Riku's campaign. And other than that, I think the story is pretty interesting. And while I don't agree with the character development for Sora, it's understandable considering they basically change who he is with his memories. So, like, story-wise, for the most part, it's pretty good, and it sets up a lot for the next game. But for the most part, the biggest problem I have is the gameplay and how much it feels just like a grind. And you've probably seen me playing this like earlier, where I'll get a few good hits in, I'll take out a few of the enemy, and then the rest of my cards will be low level because I haven't ground enough high level cards, and then they'll just break every single one of my cards without fail, and it's just like, it's not fun. There's no real balance to it. I think the thing that everyone needs to understand with a card game is that you can't have RPG elements to a card game and have that the same balance of a normal card game. Because if you played, like, say, Yu-Gi-Oh! Or something, everything is balanced based on a certain card, based on certain things that you're able to do with the mechanics of the game. And you don't gain any more abilities or more strength. The cards have a set value. So once you add in set values, there's a problem. Because you get stronger, the enemies don't change. But if the enemies get stronger, then you are being beaten like nobody's business, and that's just not good for progression in general.
The card system was just a bad idea to begin with.
It really was, and Super Butterbuns put it pretty well from what I've seen. Is her reasoning is that you have to relearn every single thing you've learned from the ground up from the first game, and that's very true because it looks like the same game, but it isn't the same game. It feels like it should be, and there are very much times where you feel like I should be able to do this thing that I did in Kingdom Hearts 1, but you can't. And it's an arbitrary reason. It doesn't make sense in the terms of the story, in the terms of the game world. Never explained. It just is. It just, fuck you. The game literally says, fuck you. We don't have to explain it. Screw the rules. I have green hair.
Much like Sora, we need to forget everything we previously knew because it's being changed on us for reasons that are completely out of our control.
And to be fair, I like the idea of having a plot where people lose their memory, because they do a lot of really interesting thought experiments with what is in a memory. Like, how much of a memory makes up who we are as a person, and at what point do we start becoming a worse person than we were before because we remember things that didn't really happen, and how much does our memory playing tricks on us affect who we are in the future from where we were in the past. And I like that. I really do like that exploration, but it feels like they, in order to do that, they wanted to take away all the skills, reset them to square one.
Square one.
But the cards are the biggest interception in that, because if you have to do the cards, it still doesn't make sense. If you absolutely had to have a card battle system, absolutely had to, for reasons of they're popular and you're a developer and you want to market something, and you know, if you absolutely have to do that, you need justification. You need to say, hey, at some point there needs to be a reason why these things happen. And honestly, I feel like they thought up the story first. I feel like they wanted, Nomura had all this stuff in his head. The people at the time said, yeah, we can do that, but cards are really popular, so you're gonna have to do a card battle system. And Nomura's like, fine, but I'm gonna make the story the way I want to. That's why it kind of feels like a lot of DLC, because a lot of it feels like stuff that he wanted to put in 2, but didn't have time for, so he's just like, I'll just create a new game. But you know, we gotta do it we gotta do it this way.
The cards, You go ahead.
Wait, did someone say square one?
Yeah, I said square one.
This reminds me of the old TV show. Square one. Square one.
I don't know what you're talking about, but cool.
You've never heard of Square One television?
No.
I haven't heard of it.
Okay. Oh, geez.
Maybe it's an Australian thing.
No. It was made by you guys. It was made by the Children's Television Workshop. It was made by the same guys who made Sesame Street. It was on PBS for like a few years back in the late 80s, early 90s. It was like...
I wasn't born in the 80s. I'm a 90s kid.
That was probably my time.
It began in 1987 and finished in 1992. Oh, jeez. I remember watching it all the time down here.
Yeah, but then
saw
again, Australian TV channels are probably like ran different programming, maybe. But like, I do remember watching Sesame Street as a kid. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a show on that same thing. It was made by the same people. And it was like all about maths and stuff, trying to make maths fun.
Then again, I didn't know what Fraggle Rock was for like years until someone actually finally told me and said, you haven't seen it? Hey Rowdy, how's it going? Nice to actually catch you on stream.
The round
So
stuff.
So I was just gonna say, the cards will tell why this former good gameplay plays like hell.
It really is night and day. But if you took out the card battle system and instead of leveling up via card battle system, you just had it be a boss gauntlet using the previous system and you had the same story, this would be 10 times better because the story is still really solid. Raises a lot of questions, very interesting. It does a lot of good things. But it's like, this is why people are so torn about it, because I've heard people really like defend this game a lot, and I can't just say I can't blame them, to be honest, because there are some really good things to enjoy about it. But then again, there are people who say that RE Coded is the best game in this franchise, and I kind of question that because I've heard that RE Coded sucks.
Coded was okay for what it was. I don't agree with the people who think that it's better than 358 Days Over 2. I mean, 358 Days Over 2 had a better had a repetitive mission system, but I like the story a lot more.
The thing about 358 over 2 days, it's designed as a mobile game. Because if you take a look at Chain of Memories as it was not designed to be played.
Actually, you're thinking of Coded. Coded was the mobile game.
No, I'm talking about like 358 over 2 days is designed to be played as a portable game. Like, Chain of Memories was not. If you take a look at the way that they're structured, mission-wise and all this other stuff, 358 over 2 days is meant to be played in bursts, as bite-sized little pieces of gameplay. And I think that does work, because I've been playing it like a couple missions a day, just a little bit here and there, and the story is still intact. And when you do that, you still like, it's still entertaining. I didn't feel like it was a slog as of right now, but that's the thing. Like, it was designed to be played on Nintendo DS when people are like on the train going to and from work, but they still wanted people to get that story. And I think in that sense it does work. If you're going to make a mobile game, you got to make it play like a mobile game. You know what I'm saying? So for what 358 does, if you play it the way it was intended, I think it's fine.
See, there are a couple of when it comes to Coded, which I did play, well, pre-coded, but anyway, when it switches up the gameplay in a lot of different ways, and I think it basically, in certain scenes, it turns into a side scroller and stuff like that. It doesn't alter it enough. It doesn't alter it a lot like this game did, and I think it's better for it. So, but the story for Coded, it makes you think that it's inconsequential, and it doesn't matter at first, because this is essentially the game. Essentially, the game is about a data version of Sora going to remove the corruption from Jiminy's journal, and it makes you think that it doesn't matter, that it's another side story like Chain of Memories, which, technically Chain of Memories does have things that affect the plot, but Coded didn't seem that way at first until at the very end of it, when it's suddenly like, we're gonna tell you now, pretty much every one of these games that you've been seeing so far, they're all connected. Nomura did all the good drugs.
Everything is connected. I must find a way to make these things connected. Tied to the darkness, soon to be completely eclipsed. Yeah, like, I feel like from what I understand, Coded is meant to be a jumping on point for new people. I don't know how well it is, you know, done that way. But if that's so, then the stuff at the end should not have been there, because if it's a jumping on point, then just, you know, redo the stuff from the original games. But if that were the case, then there would be no reason for other people to play it.
I mean, it's not as important to the story as, say, Kingdom Hearts 3D is, which is basically one of the many prequels to Kingdom Hearts 3. And it brings up a lot of things that were only previously mentioned in Birth by Sleep, which I hadn't played at the time, so it was a little awkward for me because Birth by Sleep is on a system I don't own, so I had to watch someone else play it.
Yeah, I haven't played Birth by Sleep or Dream Drop. I don't know too much about the stories. I do know they have like a weird command deck system that some people like, some people don't, which is very weird for people to start off with. Which it's funny because a lot of people say they started with Birth by Sleep and it's their favorite game. Other people say you probably shouldn't because the gameplay is so radically different. I don't know.
I can see both sides of that argument, but I'm also kind of weirded out by a couple of the choices they made for the worlds in Birth by Sleep. Because I get that they were going for the more classic Disney movies. Because they go back to the worlds of Cinderella, Snow White, and Sleeping Beauty. And we already know that Maleficent is a major character in the series in the future. And so that part makes sense. But at the same time, there's a reason that you didn't Cinderella world in previous Kingdom Hearts games, because Cinderella is a movie that doesn't exactly make for good action set pieces.
Cinderella 3 does, but you know,
yeah.
We're not there yet.
Though I do have to admit, you getting to fight like a demonic version of Cinderella's pumpkin coach was pretty hilarious.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. That's taken like directly from Cinderella 3.
What do you guys think about this news that Fallout 76 isn't coming to Steam?
I don't care.
I thought you were going to get Fallout 76.
I was, but if it's not coming to Steam, like, I don't care about Steam. Steam is a pile of shit.
It's coming to PC, but not coming to Steam.
So I would just get the PC version. I don't care about Steam. What like, if I were to lose Steam right now,
some people were making
care.
Some people were making a really big deal about this for some reason.
I don't know why. People who are radically into Steam, but what's the
They're Steam heads. As in, their head is full of steam.
This is not something that I really care about. To be perfectly honest, like, no offense, but like, I care about the game. I don't care what I play it on. And I've never really liked Steam anyway, considering their practices. But
oh yeah, I get what you can from there.
Yeah, like, it's just Steam has some really, really bad practices. I don't usually like to play on Steam. I'll play on PC if that's the only available option, but I much prefer having a console. It's a little bit trickier to set up for a stream, but at least I know when I have a console that I can control what the hell's going on, and I know that I'm going to get a game that actually functions and is not a pile of dog crap. Well, aside from the Dante's Inferno DLC, that was an unplayable mess, but you know, that was only one out of maybe like hundreds of games that I've played on Sony. Sony legitimately is very good at making sure their games are well played. Nintendo's better at it because I don't think I've ever had any problems with a Nintendo game in terms of like too many glitches or like stuff like that. But you know, it's like Xbox is probably the weakest in those terms in general. But yeah, Sony's good.
Alright. So, I don't know. I mean, to me, Steam is just the distribution vehicle for games. And yes, I agree with you. Some of their practices are pretty terrible, especially in recent years. And some of what, and basically, you know what? There are other people who can explain it better than I can.
You should ask Mike Rowe. You know, micro transactions.
Oh no! Just
By the way, don't be mad at me. Be mad at Jim Sterling. He's the one who created that bit.
I was like, because it's a dirty job. Micro is the host of a show called Dirty Jobs.
But yeah.
See, the joke's funnier if I explain it.
If you have to explain the joke, there is no joke. But yeah, like I just honestly don't care. Speaking back to Kingdom Hearts though, which on a related note to Kingdom Hearts, so far
Away.
I think 358 over 2 days is the best in one aspect, and it's not even story, because I like the story of 358 over 2 days, but I honestly think that the story of 1 is a little bit better handled in some regards, but the completion aspect so far of days is not that bad. Granted, I haven't gotten very far, but I at least think that there's not going to be anything quite as infuriating as Chain of Memories. Chain of Memories is the worst completion game if you're going for 100%.
I honestly think it's the worst game in the series, period. So I have no room to talk there.
It's probably the weakest one that I've played so far.
On a related note, that must be really painful for Soreg. Because those roots are literally stabbing him in the crotch.
See this root, Sora? It's gonna go right up your ears. Right up your ass.
And kind of, this is only tangentially related to what's going on, but not that stopped us from saying anything else on this stream. But in the art you get with if you pick up a Donald card during battle, the way it looks, because it's compressed, it kind of looks like a picture of Daffy instead.
A little bit, yeah.
Which reminds me of because I kind of have JoJo on the brain lately, because I've been watching Diamond is Unbreakable.
Is that a JoJo's reference?
There's apparently this meme that's been going on for a while now, which is there's this one image of Daffy Duck in a zoot suit and with curly hair from one cartoon. And apparently there's a lot of fan art going around that basically made him look like a JoJo character in that outfit. It's just I don't know why, but then again, why do memes do anything?
Don't let your memes be dreams.
And don't let your dreams be memes.
I also, like, during his review, Some Call Me Johnny said that he wished it was Chain of Memories was more like Yu-Gi-Oh! So he was just like, draw Mickey Caro, draw Donald Caro, draw Goofy Caro.
Ore no ton, draw.
That's the things that I have to do to make this combat just palatable. Because honestly, I wanted to get a lot farther, but we've been going almost 2 hours. Like, granted, we had the problem with the stream earlier, but now that we got it running, I've been going about an hour. Well, with this current stream, and we haven't made much progress. It's one of those things where sometimes you just gotta have a stream where nothing happens. Which is why I'm looking forward to...
It's a chain of memory stream. You should kind of expect that.
Yeah. But I'm at least looking forward to Birth by Sleep, because at least we know something will happen.
I can give you a spoiler in 3 words. Poor communication kills.
See, to some
that's basically the entire point of Birth by Sleep story. That, and Terra is an idiot.
Aqua is apparently this beautiful waifu that did nothing wrong.
Only by negligence. There were a couple of times she could have checked on the other characters, but I ultimately forgive her because she did take action to set everything right. And look where it got her, apparently.
And then apparently she's in 0.2, and then Norded, and I don't know, I need to play more.
Aqua got Norded!
No, I love the debate, like, everyone's just saying, no, she didn't. Yes, she did. Look at the eyes, look at the ears. I'm like, why don't we wait till the game comes out, guys?
Yeah.
So, I don't know what's going on, but I know my waifu Larxene is in the game, and she looks pretty as all hell. And Kairi, oh my god, she looks gorgeous. So I'm happy. I'm happy about that.
Honestly, I never saw what the big deal was for Larxene. I mean, yeah, she's the only, well, technically, the only female member of Organization 13, but my guy was always Luxor.
I like Luxord, but the thing is, in Chain of Memories, Axel and Larxene were the ones with the most personality.
Well, that's because they're the only ones that do shit.
Yeah, you're right. It's just like they're the ones with personality. There's the ones that like move the plot along. But Larxene, I just loved her voice actress. I loved just her personality. Yeah, she likes torturing people, but she has so much fun doing it. So who am I to...
So you're saying she's basically the Harley Quinn of this series. Now I see.
Yeah, like it's just like I know she's really, really bad, but you know, she's not bad. She's just drawn that way.
No, she's bad.
But yeah, I like Larxene. I think she's a good character. I like that she's messing with Elsa. I think that really fits with her personality. She would. I don't know the full list of worlds because apparently there's a couple more that have yet to be announced.
She will completely redeem herself in my eyes if at one point she tells Elsa she just needs to let it go.
Stole that from my Drawn Together review. Let it go, let it go. But yeah, Frozen, Tangled, Big Hero 6, Toy Story,
Atlantis. Okay, I'm the only one who's excited for that, but still.
Wait, Atlantis is gonna be in it?
Yeah, that was like one of the first leaks.
Have you guys seen the new Wreck-It Ralph trailer?
Yeah, the one with the line in a jacket.
I'm just looking forward to a possible Treasure Planet world, please.
I liked how they had Brave, the chick from Brave. What was her name again?
Merida.
Speaking in a Scottish accent, and everyone else is like, "We don't understand her. She's from the other studio."
Okay, that is pretty funny.
She's from the other studio.
I actually haven't seen the trailer for the new Wreck-It Ralph.
Okay, so But yeah, I'm really
Black
excited.
Cauldron. Let me put it this way, guys. They put Disney's The Three Musketeers in. They should be able to put Gargoyles and fucking Treasure Planet in the game. Because at this point, there's a lot of worlds. And you know what? You know what I want? I want the Shaggy Dog. I want the Shaggy Dog in Kingdom Hearts.
Which one?
The Tim Allen one.
No. I want the one where the dog punches someone in the face. That was the Shaggy DA.
Well, you technically have Sora playing Shadow of the Colossus in the Lion King world.
Yeah, I mean, you have that. I mean, if you have that, you could have him be a dog. Or hell, like a Lady in the Tramp world. Like, get some, get him to be a dog and more heartless. Have some DLC worlds, just like that may not matter, but just for fun.
So far, it kind of looks like Disney and Pixar the game.
Pretty much.
Because
outside of the original story elements that are all coming together, and Vanitas and the Dream Eaters and the Unversed, or like everything's coming together. And unfortunately, I don't know half of the enemies and what they're doing. So,
it would make total sense at one point if Vanitas told Sora that I am all of me. Because he's basically the shadow of this game.
I am the shadow, the true self. No, oh my god. In Kingdom Hearts 1, the
Where's
Guardian...
that damn seventh Keyblade?
in Kingdom Hearts 1, you know how he has the garden? That's his persona. Guardian's his persona.
I mean, in well, okay, it's not really a spoiler because he did something similar in Kingdom Hearts 1, but in the final boss of Dream Drop Distance, Xemnas is basically fighting with a Heartless behind him as his stand.
Yeah, he does that a lot. It's funny because like I remember too, but it's been so long since I've played. But like, whoa, ad or whatever that is.
His stand is Zawado. That never was.
My apologies.
Anyway, what was I saying? Like I like. Okay, I'm getting an echo from somebody. Anyway.
Shouldn't be me.
Yeah. But anyway, I just remember in the end of like Kingdom Hearts 2, you had like a multi-part battle. And granted, Kingdom Hearts 1 did the same thing where like they're always really good about having like really long, crazy end boss battles. And I'm like, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, but I don't care. This is fucking awesome.
You throwing skyscrapers at a dragon, and then it's raining laser. Hallelujah. And then there's just like I mentioned in my review, since Rowdy brought up the Black Cauldron, I did like parts of it. The Horn King and his minions look friggin' terrifying even to this day, and John Hurt's performance as him was great. But the thing is, kind of like with Treasure Planet, I could take or leave the Black Cauldron as a movie. But I think they would both make fucking awesome Kingdom Hearts worlds.
Oh yeah, like think about the stuff that you could do with like, I mean, granted, I get with Treasure Planet they might not want to reuse the pirate theme, so I guess, but like there's so much stuff you can do with Black Cauldron because it's different in the fighting the Horn King.
How about this? We know that, okay, you probably already know by this point, but the three Keyblade wielders from Birth by Sleep have effectively mastered their Keyblades so that they can turn them into gliders. This is all about Sora attaining his mark of mastery. What if Sora gets that ability and it turns into a space shooter?
That would be pretty cool, and you could have the treasure planet elements there, and like the treasure planet like themed worlds and stuff are all you know, in space. I could buy that.
Then again, some people might say it was just a knockoff of Gummy Ship levels.
I mean, here's the thing. I haven't played the glider segments, but the Gummy Ship in Kingdom Hearts 2 is fantastic. Much better than the stuff I had to suffer through in 1 getting platinum. Like, I really liked those rail shooter segments, and I kind of wish that they did more with them in later games.
Hey,
but
hang on, guys. I gotta drop for a second.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Dream drop distance. But yeah, like, what I want out of Kingdom Hearts is kind of a culmination of what we've seen up to this point. I haven't played Birth by Sleep or Dream Drop Distance. I've heard that they alter the mechanics and they aren't exactly the same, and they're more side games than anything, or even if they are main games, they change things, and they're on different handhelds and blah, 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 blah. I haven't played them, so I can't comment too much, but from what I can comment, I want all of these elements to be combined and streamlined to make things a little bit better and more accessible for people, because there are some good ideas that I've heard exist in these games. I have not played them yet, and I feel like they're very experimental. Like the flow motion stuff I heard was pretty experimental. I hope they do something kind of like that. I feel like they wanted to do flow motion like what they're doing right now in 3, where they have like you being able to bounce off the walls and like jump, like basically be Mario in Kingdom Hearts. So like, yeah, I think there's an evolution to it, but like the previous games have been very experimental with their direction for that. And 3 is the culmination of this. 3 is where you streamline everything. So, we'll see. We will see. I'm excited, but we gotta get through these games first.
We gotta grind.
We gotta grind for them cards. You gotta use the heart of the cards. You gotta screw the rules. Get your green hair.
Screw the rules, I have monies.
Screw the rules, I have money. Hi, I am the master of card games, the king. Yugi is just a poser who stole the Egyptian god cards. Gotta grind out those Chaos Emeralds. Hey Isaac, how's it going? Yeah, like, I need to play more of this stuff. I need to get through it, and I am. I'm on 358/2 on my own, but then again, I have to get the footage and blah 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 blah. 358, I have to say, is worth playing because while the movie is pretty good, it leaves out a few things, and I feel like there's inconsistencies on purpose in 358/2 days that I've been noticing. That I'm wondering if they mean anything, because a lot of the time, like, Sykes will say something and not match up with what another organization member's saying. There's one thing I noticed in 358/2 days where you know how 358 and Chain of Memories intersect. Essentially, 358 takes place from the moment Roxas is born, which is in Hollow Bastion when Sora turns into a Heartless, to Kingdom Hearts 2. So, for the most part, Chain of Memories is taking place the exact same time period. Well, there's one point where Roxas hears from one of the organization members that someone might be terminated, and right before that, Axel and everyone else goes to Castle Oblivion. But then, this is before Sora arrives, and every single organization member is alive at that point in time, and he goes asleep because Sora is starting to lose his memories. So, essentially, no one has died up until that point, but we get word that someone has been terminated. So I'm wondering if Sykes is lying that someone, like, to the organization that someone was terminated because he's the one who sent Axel on that mission. And when they get back, he says that they're not sure if anyone survived, but everyone else is saying that all the organization members have been killed. But Sykes is saying that they don't know. I wonder if Sykes is giving them purposefully misleading information in order to further his own goals. I need to play more, but like there's some minor inconsistencies, especially because I know Sykes and Axel are working together to do something. They took out half of the organization, and they fooled Xemnas into thinking that they were traitors, which some of them were, but also like they wanted to get one over on that. And a lot of the organization members try to take each other out, so it is believable, but Axel and Sykes' motivations as of right now are some things that I don't understand. Vexen made sense. All he cared about was science. Larxene and Marluxia just wanted to use Sora to take over because they were sick of everything happening in the organization. Lexaeus and Zexion essentially wanted to stop it, but they wanted to use Riku to do so, and that was their downfall. So we have a lot of people working against each other in the organization, so a lot of the information is skewed. You have a lot of double agents. You have a lot of people who are spreading misleading information. So, but then we also see Sykes is like together with Xemnas, and they're talking about this chamber. But I don't know what they mean by the chamber, because we don't see anything. They're not able to find it. They're looking for something. Days has a lot of vaguity to it, and it has my speculation going like crazy. The problem is, no one wants to give me a straight answer on what any of this means. And granted, I should probably complete the game first, because it's been a while since I've gotten to the ending. But I do know the stuff with Xion. Like, I know what's happening with Xion. I know the stuff with Axel and Riku and her and everything, and that, coincides with everything else. For the most part, the two games coincide, but there's this weird minor inconsistencies that I know are on purpose, because Tetsuya Nomura, the only thing that he forgets is to put people in the correct outfit. That's the only time he cares about, he doesn't care about continuity.
I'm back.
Did you hear any of what I just said? Like, because I've been talking for a while about stuff.
Absolutely none. I had to leave for a bit.
Okay. I was talking about Days a little bit, and how I noticed I got to day 76 in 358 over 2 days. But there's certain inconsistencies I've noticed that I'm sure are on purpose because of the way they're framed. But you know how when Axel leaves to go to Castle Oblivion, immediately afterwards, we get word that someone from the organization has potentially been terminated. But at that point in time, all of the organization members are still alive, because Roxas only falls asleep when Sora enters the castle, and the first person to die was Vexen. So, my question is, was Sykes spreading false information to get them to justify why people were killed there? Especially since he says something different when you get back from the castle, like saying, oh, hey, we are not sure what happened to any of the members, we're still looking into it, while everyone else is saying that everybody's dead. There's a lot of inconsistencies with what Sykes is saying and what everyone else is saying.
Knowing Sykes, I wouldn't be surprised, because that's kind of part of his personality. But, and then you gotta understand, pretty much thinks that the whole Shion thing was a stupid idea, along with most of the fan base, apparently. I'm not
like
one of
Shion.
them. I'm one of the biggest Shion fanboys you will ever meet. Just saying. I really liked her character arc, as cheesy as that one line that became a meme was.
Well, it was better in the actual like game, and not the movie.
Who else will I have ice cream with?
Axel?
Well, no, he's gone.
Oh, right.
But I understand the point of it before anyone in the YouTube comments points this out, that because Roxas at the time thought he had no heart, that was pretty much the only way of expressing affection for somebody that he knew. Because the three of them would always hang out and eat ice cream together, and now those good old days are gone. Because
I guess my summer vacation is over.
Yeah, you've seen the cutscene, so you know how it turns out. He's basically forced to kill his best friend.
Yeah.
And
then forgets because Sora remembers. So
which
like,
I totally didn't cry at.
Like,
Totally.
That's the thing. Like 358 is a tragedy. It's very much a tragedy. Nobody wins.
Ha! Because it's the organization. And another reason that I like Luxord is because he seemed like the only organization member besides Axel, that acted halfway decently towards Roxas. He seems to be more affably evil. I do like his gambler persona, and it doesn't completely get in the way of his character, Ape.
I mean, Zigbar.
That fucking running gag in George of the Jungle 2. I hate it. I just sorry. I know that's off topic, but I still go back to that. It made me hate that Kenny Rogers song. Just
hey Dodger, how's it going?
Hey Dodger. And at that point when Ape just went up and strangled the guy, that was me.
I think, well, didn't Zigbar and Lexaeus act pretty good towards him? Like,
well, not all of them were bad, but most especially Demix. But Demix really only cares about sitting around and playing his sitar, honestly.
For the most part, yeah.
And being a pain in the ass as a boss, but still, just. How is he the most difficult boss? One of the most difficult bosses in the game. That still blows my mind.
He's so lazy that his boss fight ends up being hard.
I mean, I guess you could say that the water does all the work for him, because he freaking air juggles your ass with all those pillars.
Yeah.
But that's nothing compared to the data fight with him, though.
Oh god, I haven't gotten to any of the data fights yet. I hear the data fights are pretty hard, and then Lingering Will.
You are probably going to cry when you get to Demix, because I saw Nico B play through it, and it's just basically bring Bond to Flame, because that's the only way you're gonna win. It may not be the most powerful Keyblade at that point, but it's the only way you're going to have any chance of beating Data Demix.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you too, Dodger. We're going to have a fun time. We're going to relax. We're going to have a fun time at the wedding. It's going to be fun. Let's see. Back to 358 over 2 days. I was going to say something, but I'm trying to think of it. Oh yeah, I really like the panel system for days. The panel system actually was a lot of fun.
I think that carries over from Birth by Sleep.
Pretty much.
Or at least Birth by Sleep used something similar. Again, not an expert in that game. I just watched somebody play it. I didn't play through it on my own, but still.
Yeah, like I haven't played Birth by Sleep, but like the idea of leveling up, but only like you have to equip the panels and you have to be strategic about it. I've heard people saying it's bad. It's like it makes no sense, and I'm like, but hey, I just got this ×2 multiplier for my levels, and I put all my levels in there, so now I'm twice the level that I was before, meaning I leveled up twice as fast. Like, that was really cool, and I can put in the stuff that I want. I like the system.
If you know how to do it, it's not as bad as some people say it is.
And there's some panels that you don't need. Like, I don't even use block that much in 358. To be honest, I don't use block. I don't use dodge that often, because one of my biggest complaints is that dodging in that game and the camera in that game are probably the worst aspects. Simply because they're very clunky. But that's like the biggest negative thing I can say about like how the game plays. It's
That and a couple of the bosses have some weird hitboxes.
Not only that, but there's also, I just got to the tailing mission with Pete. Oh my god, I wrote a whole thing on Twitter because that pissed me the hell off. So, okay, get this. Like, the way it's structured is a little bit like in Assassin's Creed, only you can see where people are looking. You have this symbol on the floor that showcases your range of how far you can see. And the same thing happens with Pete. So you're supposed to stay behind Pete and keep him in sight. But you can't turn slightly, because if he's out of your sight, then you immediately fail the mission, even though you can still see him on the goddamn screen. Like, he's right in front of me. I'm right next to him. So in order to actually get the tailing mission, I have to sneak up right behind him. And for some reason, he doesn't notice that I'm like right next to him. He turns. Apparently, he has no peripheral goddamn vision, and he keeps on walking. And so I have to keep doing this, being like right behind him, just so I don't leave him out of my sights for the split second. Even when he's on the goddamn screen, I can see you, and he doesn't go very far.
The real plot twist is that you had horrible tunnel vision the whole time. It was just corrected in later games.
But yeah, like that.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt, but I'm actually gonna duck out for now. I've got some stuff I need to take care of.
Later.
All right, later.
All right,
Yeah.
But yeah, like that was the only part that I like started raging at 358, because for the most part 358 is well made, if a little bit clunky for the hardware, but it still like plays well. It still behaves like a Kingdom Hearts game for the most part, and I can believe it a lot more than Chain of Memories. I also think that you should play Chain of Memories after you play I think you should play 358 over 2 days after you finish Chain of Memories, because that actually makes a lot more sense story-wise, because you can get a lot of the important story bits while also seeing how things tie in together. And so I really like that. Also, thank you. I'm glad you're bringing your tarot. I look forward to seeing what the cards have in store for me. Hopefully something good. I'm looking forward to less challenges, shall we say.
Also, the only real issue I had with Days, besides the repetitive mission structure, is just issues that I had with certain bosses. Because I really didn't like fighting the ruler of the sky and the air. Because at least the Keyblades that I had at the time, there was pretty much all the powerful Keyblades I could get at that point ended every combo with a downward stab, which is not a good thing when you're fighting something with a very specific hitbox while you're flying through the air, and you have to stay at a specific altitude to hit it. Though I do like that it uses coins like a machine gun, mostly because I remember it from Professor Layton.
I need to play a little bit more. I do remember the Lord of the Skies, but again, this came out quite a while ago, so my memory of those specific instances are a little bit old. But
Right.
But yeah, like there are certain problems with certain boss fights. Everything up until day 76, though, have been pretty good boss fight wise, I should say. So I mean, I haven't unlocked Neverland yet. I hear Neverland is where everyone starts raging. In Wonderland, the sneaking missions a lot of people were raging at. So I mean that's a thing, but overall I think 358 over 2 days is better put together than Chain. It is a game that is worth your time. What little aging problems that it does have, I can forgive because they're minor and it still holds up today. It still looks really good on my 3DS. It still looks like a game that is worthy to have in your collection. And if you play it in bite-sized bursts, then you shouldn't have any issues with the game itself. Chain, on the other hand, I have issues with the combat, so much so that, like, I'm really torn on the game, because I do think it's incredibly necessary, but just watch the cutscenes, or watch my stream, because at the moment, Chain is one game that is, like, I'm trying my best to get through it right now. Like, I just want to be done with it.
Right. And I know I'm kind of monopolizing the conversation about days, but there are a couple of things. When I think of days, most of what stands out to me are the reactions between the various organization members and the bosses. And I just want to talk about a couple more things, if that's all right.
That's fine.
Because there is this one mission which gave me so much trouble. Because the mission in it is a Wonderland mission, and you have to go into the hedge maze and exterminate a rare Heartless. But the thing is, this Heartless doesn't just like spontaneously appear or anything like that. No. It runs away from you.
Oh, that fucking guy. Is that the Deserter Heartless? Because, I mean, you fight them later, but I remember the Heartless you're talking about. Like, you have to keep chasing it.
No, it's a rare form of the Magician Heartless that casts spells. It's like the Silver something or other. I'm not...
The Silver Surfer?
Silver or what, I'm not... He might as well be, because he keeps running the fuck away from you. No, he surfs the fuck away from you, is what I meant to say. But basically, the thing is, though, he runs or flies in a set pattern around the maze. So what you basically have to do is camp in one spot and get a couple of hits on him as he runs by you.
Yeah, that's
the
annoying part.
He will never violate this pattern. He will never attack you. You just have to wait. And the thing is, it's easier if you use fire, because in days you can inflict blaze on enemies. So basically, if you freeze it and then use fire on it, which should just melt it, but JRPG logic. But basically, if you freeze him and then use fire on it, see, some of the solutions to these bosses did make me feel kind of stupid, kind of like the final boss of the penultimate boss of Dream Drop Distance, because that was one of the most frustrating experiences I'd ever had, because I didn't know how broken Balloon was at the time.
Yeah, apparently Balloon-Ra is like really, really broken.
Yeah, because if you use Balloon-Ra against the penultimate boss, because otherwise he teleports around you like a motherfucker, and you have to constantly keep on your toes. But Balloon is basically Seeker Mines, so that makes short work. That makes short work of him. That and the bonus boss, which is the monster Julius from from Runaway Brain. And anyway, so the other boss I want to talk about besides the ruler of the sky is the Dust Flyer. That's like the really rare bonus boss in Days. That boss is kind of annoying because the thing about him is it's a giant version of those winged heartless you see all the time, and it has this shockwave attack that basically hits the entire arena under you, and you have to jump out of the way in time. So you basically have to be gliding the whole time you fight, because if you don't, that shockwave inflicts a whole bunch of status ailments on you. And the thing about Days is that it added a whole bunch of new status elements that weren't in the previous incarnations. Like in this game, you can be set on fire, or your level can be set to 1, or your controls can be reversed when you're confused. It just makes things a bit more difficult. That is one thing that I did take issue with in Days combat system. But anyway. And the third boss I want to talk about is actually one that I do like, but a lot of people don't. So, because apparently a lot of people hated this boss. I thought it was great because basically the boss of one of the Halloweentown missions is this heartless called the Leech Grave, and it's basically sending out its thorny roots throughout the whole of Halloweentown and eating up other heartless to get stronger. And the atmosphere is actually really good leading up to it, because I had no idea what to expect. This was something completely new. And then when you actually get to it, it's like, it's hard to describe without actually showing you, but it's basically like a coffin dangling from a bunch of thorny spider legs, and its weak spot is the coffin. So basically you just have to, it's sending out thorny tentacles to stop you and spewing poison gas at you. So I really like the idea of it, and I didn't think the boss fight was that hard either. The only problem I had with it comes back to the whole wonky hitboxes thing, because it's very hard to actually destroy the tentacles, because their only weak spot is the mouth where they absorb the other heartless, but it's this very specific point that you have to hit, but you don't really have to destroy the tentacles to win. It makes things easier, sure, but I beat it with almost no problems. So yeah, I actually like the Leech Grave, even though I know a lot of people don't.
Yeah, I've heard horror stories about the Leech Grave. I don't remember too much. I'll probably remember when I go to fight him. But yeah, and yay, we got another trophy. Woven Memories, which means we're halfway done with Sora's campaign.
We're already halfway there.
And yeah, I'll go back and 100% this later, but right now that this is enough. We're doing the story. I'm gonna get that out of the way, and at least like hopefully soon I'll be able to put out the Chain of Memories review that I have recorded. But yeah, like speaking of Days, I have two things. First of all, have you've 100% of the game, right? Or have you gotten like some of the extra stuff?
I think I know what you're about to bring up, and yes, I did get the joke weapons for all the organization members.
Did you get all the medals and everything involved in the game?
No.
Okay.
I know you can play as Mickey, and that's pretty cool.
Like, I intend on actually doing that, going through. It's probably going to take a little while. Like, some of the missions are very easy to find, the medals, and some of them are hard. But that brings me to my second point, which is I like that you have different costumes where you can play as the organization members, and their fighting styles are all very interesting. This was the first time that we were able to play as the organization members, and I like their different fighting styles. I like how each one has their own thing that they're able to do, and they put a lot of care and time and effort into making sure that they played and behaved the proper way. So I like that. And I was actually one of the few who knew someone who also had the game. So I did play I played the co-op stuff, and the co-op stuff is actually fun. It's just, you know, you're playing the same missions with a buddy, so.
That and now that DS's Wi-Fi connection is disabled, so you have to be in person now to do it. I think that's maybe how it was before, but I didn't do it for obvious reasons. Obviously, so. You
had one job, Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Pinocchio seems to regress with each game. Then again, this is Shadow Pinocchio. Like, he's not real, but even still, like, it always seems like he's learning the exact same goddamn lesson.
Kind of like Peter Pan, honestly. I mean, in Birth by Sleep, he basically just becomes the asshole who's attacking Hook at this point.
Yeah.
And I know he kind of deserves it, but still, you don't really see Hook do anything to him to start off with.
Yeah, I mean, like, Captain Hook is kind of a dick, but, like, a lot of times, Peter Pan is the dick in this case. I'm not a big fan of Peter Pan in general. Like, I think the movie's okay, but Peter Pan, the character, he's a massive dick.
Yeah, but, well, he's a little kid that never learned proper discipline. So I understand why he's that way, but he does come off as a dick. Yes.
Mm-hmm. He never grew up, and to a certain extent, that it includes the part of our brain that says don't be a dick to people.
Which reminds me of that country song that came out the same year as another song about Peter Pan, which actually made really clever use of the metaphor. So it's just like you're like saying it's basically a woman telling her ex off, but she uses a whole bunch of Peter Pan metaphors in ways that actually work. Because basically she's saying you're just a lost boy, you don't know who you are, and you'll never grow up, you'll never be a man, Peter Pan. I really like that, actually.
Where'd it go?
Anyone here familiar with the Peter and the Starcatchers novels?
I am not, no.
Itchy, you've been kind of quiet.
Itchy?
You still there?
Scratchy? Oh no, we lost him.
We lost Poochie. Oh, never mind him.
It could be the audio, because I know we've been having problems earlier. Thankfully, the frame drops have stopped. Like, this session now is fine, but I had to reset my internet connection. But yeah, like,
Well, yeah, I did. Well, back to the Peter and the Starcatchers thing. That's basically like an alternate version of the origin of Peter Pan before Pan did it and just went argle fargle vargle for 2 hours.
My favorite recreation of Peter Pan has to be Meatloaf's recreation. Because
what?
You don't know? I think he said like Bat Out of Hell, or it was basically about Peter Pan. One of his albums. It's something that you have to like have like more context for. But yeah, essentially, one of his albums was basically a play about Peter Pan.
Yeah. I'd probably have. I did not see that coming, but I'd probably have to read the lyrics for further context to that. But anyway, so Yep, man, I know it's in the public domain, but there are a lot of different versions of Peter Pan's origin.
Oh
But
yeah,
anyway,
and I love
the
Hook.
Peter and the Peter and the Starcatchers novels was basically how Peter got the ability to use pixie dust and things like that, and it actually starts off with Hook before he was Hook, and apparently before that he was called Captain Blackstash, which is an awesome name, by the way.
Yeah,
because he had a really good mustache.
the most awesome mustache the world has ever seen. Let's see.
Apparently,
Jim Steinman, Meatloaf songwriter, is obsessed with Peter Pan and the entire Neverland lore. 90% of his songs are references to it in one way or another. Oh.
You would never think to connect those if you didn't know that, honestly. but I mean, if it works, then it works. So it did, and I read the first book of that a while back, and I recall it being good, but apparently, well, its portrayal of certain other cultures, well, was real early 2000s-ish.
God damn it, Roddy! Don't bring up those Tinkerbell movies. We're gonna have to cover those when we get to that portion.
I heard the Tinkerbell movies are actually pretty good, honestly. I know,
but
I know
so
somebody who reviews them on his blog, and apparently some of them aren't that bad. At least some of them.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. Odds are there are so many that there's bound to be a few stinkers in there.
Thank God that I don't have to ever review the Land Before Time films. I'd probably lose my mind. I don't think there's any portion outside of maybe Winnie the Pooh that we're going to have trouble in the Disney debate for them being so many films.
Yeah, I know.
God damn it, Dodger. To play Despacito Tinkerbell remix.
I do like that they brought in Mae West because I enjoy her work. Ever since I wasn't a fan of Arrested Development back when it was on, so I discovered her through
do you hear
Avatar.
that? Oh, I think Itchy fell asleep. Poor thing. Hold on, I'm just gonna kick him from the call.
Wow.
Crap, how do I do that?
I'm not sure. I mean, you're the mod here.
Let's see.
Hang on.
Oh, no, that's not how I do it. Dodger.
Oh, here we go. Kick.
But kicking, that's kicking him from the server.
Oh, shit.
I didn't want to do that. Did I kick him out of the server? Fuck.
I did. You'll have to invite him back. Sorry about that.
Alright, hold on one sec, guys. I'm just gonna send a new invite to Itchy.
Just explain that when he fell asleep, we tried to remove him from the chat, but he can come back anytime. Sorry about that.
Yeah, now I gotta find a way to. Now I gotta send an invite. Hold on. Blah, 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 blah. Live, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, in this case, that one's on me, guys. Sorry about that. Check out my melody.
Yeah, he's out of the server, but I'm trying to find a way. Oh wait, I'm losing my mind. I think. There we go. Invite sent.
Okay. So we'll be good in the future. Just when he wakes up and realizes what happened. This is not my beautiful server. This is not my beautiful wife.
And Itchy is one of the big friends on our Discord server, so I had to do that.
Okay.
Sorry about that, guys. What were we talking about beforehand?
Hey guys.
Hey, Dodger, how's it going?
Here's a suggestion for you for the future when this happens. Create an AFK voice channel that you can just drop people in. And it'll be one of
okay.
those things where you can disable voice use, you can disable mic use, and it'll just be for dropping people that have fallen asleep. I actually have that on one of my server. It's called Coconut Beds, and if somebody falls asleep on a call, I just put them in there.
Okay, I'm gonna probably have you help me do that this coming weekend, because I'll have to either figure that out or whatever. But yeah. So yeah, that's the first time.
I can do that right now if I have admin privileges. I can probably do that right now.
You have mod privileges. I'm pretty sure you can do that.
All right, I'll do that now then.
Okay.
Again, sorry. That's just me thinking. We can just kick them off the call. But
Okay, create channel, voice channel. All right, I need a good name for this channel.
It's gotta have to do with Persona 5. Something like
go the fuck to sleep.
that could be it.
All right. Oh, I got it. There, I created that.
All right, let's see. 2 + 2 equals go
to bed.
Okay, that's the kind of wit that I'm talking about here. That's what I was looking for, but it's been a long day. To be honest, I was very groggy this morning because I was not feeling well last night, but I still had to work, and so I was just like, you know what, I'll just go to bed, and then I woke up and I feel better now, but it's like that's one of those things. Sometimes, very sluggish in the morning with my meds. But thank you very much, Dodger. I'm very much looking forward to this weekend and better days ahead. Weddings are always fun times.
Great Todase.
Yada yada dazi.
Sorry, I've been watching this Unbreakable lately.
Is that a JoJo's reference?
Well, yes, because it's part of JoJo.
Okay, you now have an AFK channel.
Good.
I
Once again,
set it up so that nobody has voice privileges in it, so because it's not for talking, and you just drop people there and they can disconnect when they wake up.
This is honestly the first time this has ever happened to me, so thank you.
yes, Dodger, thank you for fixing my screw up.
That's all you gotta do is just make a place where people can go to sleep, and then plop them there.
But how you been, Dodger?
I've been getting ready for this weekend. I just got a hotel room, and that's gonna be fun.
Nice. By the way, Rowdy, are you in my no, you're not. Hero, feel free to invite Rowdy to the Discord if you want.
I will, but I was actually going to explain to him because on his previous stream, which was also his first, he had me and Jeff and a couple other people on there, and the thing is, I was actually thinking if he wants us to join him at least in audio form, then a good way to do that would be to get Discord, because that's seems to be the best program to use for us if you want to join in at least in audio form on stream.
It's the best audio-wise. I only have problems when usually during thunderstorms, and that like resetting internet helped. Like Discord is usually the best go-to, and it just, you know, it's an easy way to get the word out, like, hey, we're streaming, and notifies people when I'm streaming. But as for me, I've just been working on History of One Piece this weekend. History of One Piece has been taking up a lot of my time, actually, but it's gonna be worth it when I can finally get these videos out.
I won't. I won't. We can, like I said, it's not a high priority right now. It's just something for the future.
Yeah. Just to get the band back together, because like I don't have everyone on my Discord. I don't have Aaron on my Discord yet. Like I'm kind of slowly trying to phase in. And then obviously Ari added a couple people, some of who I don't know, that I'm trying to get used to. Eventually, I'm probably going to make my Discord server open, but it is a handful as it is. So, just trying to get everything together. I don't know. If I do make it public, I'm afraid there might be problems with randos, so there's that.
My server is semi-public. I mean, you have to go looking for it on my channel page, but it's there. But I typically don't have a lot of joiners.
Yeah, like the thing is with your server is you tend to have a lot of really good people, most of whom I know. But then again, we also have some overlap in our friend base too, so there's not really too much problem in that regard. I'm just more worried about someone coming in and then creating problems for everyone, and I'm not always there. I mean, that's why I have mods, but even still, I'm afraid like some rando's gonna pop in, be like, causing some trouble, and I'm not gonna be there.
Oh, I've had that happen where somebody spammed every single one of my channels with their Twitch channel, and another one of my mods was on it, and they got it banned.
I need to create more mods, because at the moment we have a sizable group, and there's definitely enough people where I'm gonna have to start like getting more people to control things, because I can check it every now and again when I'm at work, but there's like a large portion of the day where I'm at work or I'm sleeping. And there are things that I'm trying to crack down on, like Wolf, not the Night Wolf, the other Wolf, the one that Ari's friends with. I kind of have to keep him in check a couple of times because, like, he posts things in the wrong chat. Like, he's posted lewd stuff in the regular chat before, and I'm just like, you can't do that. So I have to be on it.
Which isn't that bad in the grand scheme of things.
It isn't, but I'm just thinking about the future for the most part. Because if I do ever make this public, I have to make sure that things are kind of adhered to, which is why I'm testing out the waters of a few things right now. That's also why, like, I told the Night Wolf that until I heard his audio, I wasn't sure if he would be good to come on the stream. Because, like, we all have a setup, but, you know, if I just let people randomly come in here, they could say whatever they want, and that could hurt my brand, so...
We all have a setup, she says, knowing full well that I'm speaking on my phone right now.
You sound really good for a phone.
My dad's not a phone!
I'm not a part of your system.
I'm an adult.
None of us are adults.
No, we're not. We're really not.
I don't know how to adult. What are you talking about? I scream fuck on the internet now, so that's
okay, like... Nash.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I had a dream last night that Nash was introducing Radio Dead Air, and he says, "And now the new host of Radio Dead Air," and I suddenly took over, and I'm like, what are you doing, brain? This is not my job.
I don't think that's a torch. That's a torch you'd want to take up, Zenith.
No, because I wouldn't be able to handle some of these stories. It's bad enough, some of the naked crazy stuff that happens in Florida. But yeah, that was my morning today. I was just like, I woke up and I'm like, what are you doing, Zen? What the hell? Oh god. Anyway, yeah, like, for the most part, my job is to talk about things on the internet. Whether or not it's professional is up for you to debate.
Sorry.
But I it's okay. Whether or not my setup is professional is up for you guys to debate. But I try to keep it as professional as possible. Doesn't always work, but still, randos are my biggest concern for the Discord server, at least.
I know what it means, but every time people use randos to refer to random people, I always think of Rando from Yu Yu Hakusho. He hasn't stopped causing trouble even after Yusuke beat him.
God damn it. Well, then again, I mean, Justin Cook comes back in some anime these days, and I'm like, oh my god, Yusuke was reincarnated.
I can't believe anime never dies.
High school never ends, guys.
Ugh.
It's true, though. Rowdy, I'm doing an okay job. Like, I do my best. I have my good weeks and my bad weeks, but, I mean, I'm loving streaming. Streaming has been the most consistently good thing, even if it's not always certain if people are gonna show up some days. Like, Monday nights, like, nobody shows up.
Well, we know who to blame for that.
Garfield?
Boo. Get out.
Yeah.
Get out of your own stream and your own server.
No, it's probably Nash's thing, because Nash streams on Mondays, so everyone's going over there. So I always forget that happens, and like, I'm usually going to work right before Radio Dead Air starts. So it's like, if I try to stream on a Monday night, I understand that. But also, I don't know, like, I try to stream regularly, and it's not always easy.
I actually had to postpone my tarot stream to tomorrow because of everything that's been going on with me.
Well, I hope things clear up for the better.
Eh, it's just hectic around here.
By the way, if you ever want to, like...
Rowdy, no, you go ahead.
If you ever want to, like, collab on stream, like, you do readings while I play video games, I'm completely fine with that. I'll give you the donation. I don't mind that.
I mean, if you're gonna combine tarot with video games, the best option would probably be Persona.
Yeah, when I stream, like, I'll stream Persona 1. Because I have that.
Oh no. You masochist.
Yeah, then you kind of, it comes with the territory of Persona. with the giant dick.
Have fun with the butterfly that comes out of the penis cocoon.
But yeah, I know things have been hectic. For me, I'm just trying to keep the stream consistent. I've noticed, though, that, like, the last 2 streams, I'll get, like, a random follower, and they'll comment, and I'll be like, hey, and we'll talk for a little bit during the stream. And then, mysteriously, the next day, that follow is gone. That's happened twice lately? I don't know why. I haven't changed anything, so maybe they think I'm Buns, because I'm streaming with under the hashtag Buns Brigade, but...
And that, unfortunately, that's going away.
Oh, that is?
Yeah, they're getting rid of communities.
So that's gonna be, like, that's where I'm getting a lot of my randos.
Now that's bullshit if I've ever heard it, because with the way people have been leaving YouTube because of its policies, you would think that Twitch would want to make it easier for people to communicate with each other.
It's weird. They've also made it harder to delete pledges too. Like for Twitch, they introduced the ability to subscribe on mobile, but you can't unsubscribe unless you're on the computer.
Yeah, that's something they definitely need to work on.
I mean, I like Twitch. Don't get me wrong. I think Twitch is great, but like, I want more ability for like random people to find me. I will say, Littlest Shib. Shout out to Littlest Shib. Shibbert has been hosting a couple of my streams. I've noticed in the stream whatever. He lurks every now and again, and he hosts. He's a wonderful guy, and I've gotten some really good followers from that. But it's hard to find new people sometimes. I try to advertise on YouTube, but I can't simultaneously stream to YouTube now that I'm a Twitch affiliate.
Because YouTube just does not want you to have their money.
No, it's actually Twitch. I had to sign a contract with Twitch saying that for 24 hours the stream is exclusive to Twitch.
Well, that doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's why I wait to post my videos to YouTube, but I do kind of wish I could get my fan base in there.
yeah, Rowdy. But like I said, that's something that can be learned over time. Because your setup was really good. Because especially for your first stream, the gameplay footage was very clear. Your video wasn't laggy. I could definitely hear you all right. The only issue we really had was the in-game audio being a bit too loud, and we fixed that pretty easily. So
that's usually the only problem. Like for me, the first issue is finding internet that was able to host the stream. But if you look back at my first stream, I did that from my PlayStation 4. It was not, you didn't have this layout. This is all actually Enigma. Enigma really upgraded everything for me.
Basically, the secret of success is having friends who know what they're doing when you don't.
I mean, if you think about it, like Buns taught me the basics of streaming, and then I went to OBS tutorials, but like she taught me a lot of the basics that she uses. Dodger helped me out with a lot of the minute details, and then I had Nick help me with the rest. And granted, I'm still trying to figure out how to make better alerts, and I'm still trying to figure out how to get people coming in. But I like my setup right now. I think this is a fantastic layout.
Yeah, different machines can have an effect on the speed, but like I said, that remains to be seen. So,
yeah, you really have to do some tests because, like, technically my first stream was not my first stream. I remember, like, I want to say it was like 6-7 years ago on my very first computer that was laggy as all hell. I used to stream cartoons because Birdman Dodd was doing that, and I started doing that for a while. That's where I met a lot of people from that. That's where I met Quarks and some of my early followers just by doing that. And granted, I had a horrible setup. It was laggy as all hell, and I wasn't very engaging, and I was on my webcam, which was not very good. So you can upgrade your setup.
Yeah, I mean, me having a better webcam would solve the issue with the few streams I do, but my streams are low tech compared to yours. So
yeah, yeah. I mean, I did spend the money for the Elgato, and I did spend the money for a few different things. In order to get things the way I wanted professionally, I had to really work to get it. But then again, I stated last year that I wanted to get to a Twitch affiliate. Well, I got that in a year. I'm looking to get partner. That's my next step. Fortunately, that's very hard.
Yeah. It always is.
I mean, I have a lot of people rooting for it, but like I feel like until like maybe History of One Piece comes back and I start like streaming that, because when those videos are finished, I'm going to stream it, like, because they have the premiere feature on Twitch now. I'll premiere the video on Twitch and then I'll later put it up on YouTube. I think that'll give me a bit more followers, but it's all a luck of the draw. Part of it,
because it's a card game.
Card games on motorcycles.
Motorcycles would be an improvement in this case. I mean, that's the funny thing about. Okay, I'm done talking about this, but with Birth by Sleep, the whole glider thing really doesn't come up a lot. You only use it in like one level, which I thought was a real missed opportunity given how cool of an idea this is. You barely even see them in full armor.
Yeah, like, wasn't the Keyblade armor the big thing that they showcased in the cutscene at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2?
Yeah, and that's what you always see the characters in when they show up in the different incarnations in later games. And it's plus like the big floating head said, because it's cool.
Show me what you got. I like what you got.
Incoming message from the big giant head.
But yeah, just so you guys know, next weekend rather, me, Dodger, and a few other people we're gonna be away, so I'm not gonna be streaming since we have a wedding. Eric, who is a former host of the Disney debate, but left because he has a lot of work that he's dealing with right now, he's getting married. So we have to go see a Malwidge, and we're gonna have fun.
That dream within a dream.
I am not doing that.
It happened at Kat's wedding.
Yes, but I am not doing that because, yeah, no, you don't do that.
So we're gonna be away. I might try to stream on Wednesday, but honestly, like the week before the wedding, I'm probably just gonna try to get. Oh, thank you very much for the bits. We are
Biddies!
4% of the way to my bit goal.
Biddies!
Yeah, I can honestly say that probably I don't know what this says, but probably the most I've suffered for your cause, Zen, is watching that Slender Man ad multiple times.
But yeah, so unfortunately we won't be streaming next weekend, but I will return, and I'm trying to make it, knock on wood, trying to make it like a regular stream Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or maybe a Wednesday. Like, it's Saturdays and Sundays are the easiest, but getting only 2 days a week is not enough. It's not enough to really move up in the stream ranks, as it were. So I'm trying some stuff out. I might try to do Prince of Persia Wednesday nights. That might be a good night for that. But it all depends on work schedule and if I have to work on History of One Piece, because that takes priority, because I've taken a year and a half off, and we got to get back to that.
Also, can I just comment on how weird Monstro's innards are?
What are your innards like?
What the hell was
pink?
What the hell was that? What the hell was that thing you were fighting? Like a Venus flytrap coming out of the wall?
Yeah, it's like a parasite that attaches to it, and stuff like that. But like, just looking at the colors of the inside of Monstro, like, what did you eat, Monstro?
It's like, oh, Oh, the interior of this level was so colorful. That's because it's E. coli, Sora.
You're all infected. You only have 4 hours to live.
Also, those things that are spitting acid at you, are those ulcers?
I guess so. Stomach ulcers. Thank you for taking care of them, Sora. They just keep coming back. I don't know how to get rid of them.
Maybe it's because you eat so many infected things.
I like how
I eat whatever I can get. I'm swimming through space.
the Heartless are essentially parasites.
Like, I eat whatever I can get. I'm swimming through space. Do you know how much food there is for a whale in space? Not much.
I still don't understand this. How is he just swimming through space? Like, is this Star Trek? Search for the space whales?
I'm probably the only one who was thinking this, but I was thinking of the Pomp and Circumstance scene from Fantasia 2000 with the space whales.
Oh god.
The flying whales.
What if he really is Batman in disguise? You know, I'm Batman and I can breathe in space.
No, he's Blowhole from that episode of The Tick. He somehow lost his legs.
I've been floating here for 5 years. I have enough food inside me to last several decades, but this is not very fun. And ooh, rare card. I don't have to get the barrel spider again, at least.
Rare card. That's just big enough to be the Blue Eyes White Dragon.
That's just vague enough to be the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Yugi, you're coming with me. I'm taking your dragon.
I saw a freaking awesome pair of Yugi and Kaiba cosplayers at GlitchCon. I'll post the pictures later.
Yeah.
Probably the most impressive thing I saw there were the people who do that Wasteland LARP stuff, and they're basically reenacting Fury Road. So they've got vehicles that are made up to be like the vehicles in a Mad Max movie.
Nice.
And somehow they can still drive them, despite the fact that you can see parts of the vehicle inside them.
Do you want to know the funny thing? The barrel card was one of the last cards that I got when I was grinding for cards in the PS3 Chain of Memories. I don't know if the drop rate is different in between games, because I know that they changed a lot for the PS4 versions of the trophies, because, you know, they realized that some of them were just stupid. But the barrel card is one of the harder ones to get. Same thing with the white mushroom and the black mushroom cards. Because
so it's a... Sorry, I was just gonna say that if it's a rare card with barrel on it, it must be barrel behind the door.
Essentially, the thing is, it's a situational card, because you don't see barrels on every room, and only some of the barrels are enemies in disguise. So it's like, it takes forever to find it. I like to actually get one. And well, white mushrooms and black mushrooms, you have to summon a room specifically for them. But the thing is,
not the room.
Not the room. Oh hi, Mark. Oh hi, cards.
Oh hi, Sora.
Okay, the room world for Kingdom Hearts 5. Yeah, Disney bought out the room.
Where's the organization? I cannot tell you. It's confidential.
Why are you asking so many questions, huh? And the boss is Tommy Wiseau.
It would not surprise me if Tommy Wiseau was a nobody. In fact, it would explain a lot about it.
Oh, hi, Sora. I just want you to know that I'm the third thing. You know how there's Heartless and nobodies, huh? I'm the in-between state. I am somebody, yeah?
So he's an unversed?
I guess I haven't gotten that far.
They're the proto Heartless from Birth by Sleep.
Ah, okay. What was I saying before this joke?
You have to. You're saying that in order to summon a white and black mushroom, you have to open a room.
Yeah, they only operate, like, there's a certain drop rate for the white mushroom room cards, so you have to open the door of that specific room with that white mushroom card. But in addition to that probability, the card has to have the right number to open the door. And in addition to that probability, you have to, there's only 3 white mushrooms in each of those rooms. And so they only have a drop rate that's very, very low, because the drop rate of cards is pretty low in the PS3 version. The only way to improve that is by using a Teeming Darkness, and that only increases the drop rate slightly, but it is an increase. So it's like one of the Looming Darkness, Teeming Darkness cards helps with the drop rate, but it's still a very low drop rate. And for me to find the barrel card like this early on without even trying, the game's trolling me at this point.
That actually kind of reminds me of. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this actually reminds me of that one scene from the Page Master, where Macaulay Culkin's character was like, 8% of all household accidents involve ladders, 3% involve trees. We're looking at 11% probability here.
Actually, if you do the math, that's probably like the opposite. I think he did the math in reverse, because the combination of trees and ladders would decrease.
Because he was talking about a tree house.
Yeah, but I think the combination of those two is rarer. So wouldn't that decrease the percent? I don't know. I'm not a math whiz. I'm bad at math.
Nobody's be math.
Nobody said there'd be math. Welcome to Math Blasters, kids.
Math Blasters is pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, Math Blasters, Number Munchers. There was a lot of like old school computer games I forget the name of, but I used to play.
Did you ever play any of the Jumpstart games?
Yes, I just can't remember what they were, because I do remember doing stuff. The biggest game that I remember learning growing up. Have you ever played Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego?
I didn't play it, but I watched the game show.
Yeah, like I used to own that game. The problem is finding a copy of that is impossible. There's not even any like ROMs of it available anymore. It's impossible to find a copy, and I'm like, I remember having that as a kid. It was a lot of fun, but it's impossible to find, and that's why I love physical media, because it's easier to find these things. And you know, with digital media, there's no guarantee it's even gonna be a thing in like 5 years, let alone like how long ago that game came out.
That, and you might not be able to run it on your current operating system.
Well, that too, but I'm pretty sure like the company is now defunct, if I remember correctly. I think it was like Broderbund.
Oh, by the way, before speaking of the game show, a lot of people praise the original Carmen Sandiego game show's theme song by Rockapella, which they should. It's a great track.
Oh yeah,
and apparently they still perform it to this day. But Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego actually had a pretty good theme song as well. It's gloriously 90s, but it's still pretty entertaining.
Matterhorn Screamer I haven't heard of.
I haven't heard of that either.
But like that's the thing. When it comes to these old school stuff, they have such like widespread appeal. Like even like the Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, those still hold up, because they dated themselves, but they dated themselves in such a way that they never became a problem. That you can still pick them up and play them to this day, if your computer can actually play the game. Because I remember Pro Jared did a review of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, and I wanted to go back and play it.
I was gonna say he get that much.
Yeah, like he went back and played it, but he actually found the software.
But then again, he said he didn't like the last story, so his opinion isn't valid. I'm just kidding, Jared.
Pro Jared is awesome.
I doubt he's listening to this anyway.
Although I do have a beef with the completionist right now, and don't get me wrong, I love the completionist. But in this latest video, he opens it up, like one of the very first things he did, and he makes a cardinal sin. He basically says that, well, he was talking about Okami HD, and Okami HD is one of my favorite games of all time. It's a fantastic game, and he said it is essentially a ripoff of Zelda. It takes inspiration from it, and to that I understand. That makes sense. But then he talks about that in the same vein that Digimon is a ripoff of Pokemon.
It's really a semantics issue with that. I mean, at this point, the whole can this Pokemon versus Digimon feud be over? Because it started years ago.
They're both good, and they're both very different. They're not the same type of game. Like, one is about saving the world using, like, the internet, and the other is about capturing and raising creatures to fight. But there's no grand purpose behind it. But even still, from what I gather, I think the Digimon manga predates Pokemon. But even then, it doesn't matter because it's a different idea that came out, that was in conception at the same exact time.
I think the thing is that Digimon obviously started as the little Tamagotchi toys, and then when Pokemon came out, they took inspiration from that, but they decided to do their own thing with it. And at the same time, Digimon later cribbed from Pokemon later cribbed from Digimon with Mega Evolutions. Yes, I know.
And not just Mega Evolutions, but the Save the World plots too.
And I'm willing to acknowledge that at this point, that as a lot of other people have put it, Digimon has a better anime, except for the newest incarnations like Appley Monsters, which I've heard is awful.
Yeah.
But Pokemon still has better games.
Pokemon has better games, and there's far more of them. Although we didn't get the good Digimon games over here. From what I understand, the ones that they came out for Wonder Swan that tie into like the movies are really, really good, but they're Japan only.
In order to actually even understand the relevance of a character in Digimon Tamers, you have to know what happened in one of the Wonder Swan games.
Yeah, and then there's I hear Digimon Cyber Sleuth is actually pretty good.
That's one that I actually did want to play.
I haven't played it, which I can't comment. I played Digimon World 3, if I remember correctly. It was so long ago. So it's like, I remember not knowing where to go. So I was just going around fighting monsters, and I didn't know where to go. So, like, that was my extent with it. But that was during the PlayStation era, where I couldn't look up things readily, like, easily. Quackshot? What?
Basically, it was Donald Duck going on a search for treasure in an Indiana Jones style game. And the whole gimmick was you had this gun which would allow you to do different things, because it wasn't like a gun because it's Disney, but it had stuff like you could swing from objects, you could shoot out a plunger into the wall, which would allow you to use it as a platform. It was an entertaining little Genesis game. Not a lot of people talk about it. I did play it when I was a kid, and I honestly kind of want to go back to it.
Nice. But yeah, like
Disney had a lot of good games in the old days.
They did.
I mean,
they had a lot of great
do,
licensed games.
They still do, but they don't really put as much focus on that now. Yeah, it was like Darkwing's gas gun, basically.
But yeah, so like I just watched the completionist video this morning, and I comment on it, and like, I'm just like, I don't mean to be that guy. Like, I don't want to be pedantic, but like, Digimon did not rip off like Pokemon, and it sparked this whole like comment thread war, and I'm just like, whatever. But a lot of people apparently agreed with me, so I'm just like, yeah, like. You're the completionist. You have 100,000. Well, no, not. You have almost 1 million subscribers. You should be able to do enough research to understand that they don't inspire each other. They're not the same type of thing. But that's just a theory, a game theory.
Boo.
No, I have the same problem with Matt Pat sometimes, because he doesn't seem to do.
Has a whole bunch of issues, especially with his newer videos.
He doesn't do as much research.
From what I heard, that Persona video was terrible.
Yeah, Persona
Yep.
fans ripped into him, and I agree, because like he has good content, but they're not well researched or intellectual enough.
He treats the show like it's supposed to be, like it's informative, when most of the time it's entertainment, which is fine, but he doesn't really but it's not researched well enough to be an actually educational show. It can be thought-provoking sometimes, though.
Yes.
Then again, the Matrix movies can be thought-provoking, so that doesn't say a lot.
Yeah, like, here's the thing. For my videos, I do a lot of research. I spend a lot of time on my major videos making sure that everything is right. I still get stuff wrong, but if I do, I quickly own up to it, and I make a note about it, and move on. I spend a large portion of the video just making sure what I'm saying is correct, because that's the kind of content I produce. If you're creating informative videos, then you should at least
try to be informative.
Yeah, like, know your stuff.
Know your stuff. Know your stuff. No.
You can't say that on television.
Rowdy, I know you got the whole self-deprecation thing going on. I do. I do that a lot. But you're not an idiot. You're just inexperienced at the time.
I think, like, when it comes to my content, I am very particular about how everything is presented, which is why
yeah, I try to do the same thing with my videos, because I guess I'm still kind of, my mind's still kind of blown when people say that my show is a retro styled review show, because I didn't think reviews were an old enough medium to be retro.
We've only been around for like 15 years, guys.
Because I still do the whole riffing and joking commentary, but I also try to at least be upfront with how I feel about something, instead of just trying to exaggerate it for comedic effect. Like, I think probably the angriest I've ever gotten was that episode on the MS Paint and Alice in Wonderland movie. That was real anger, because it really pisses me off that thing exists. Like, because they basically grabbed a radio play that was in the public domain that actually had good actors in it, and then they threw up these horrible MS Paint inspired visuals and hid behind the excuse that, oh, it's like something a kid would draw.
Yeah. I don't generally get angry at stuff. The most out of any video that I've put out so far is Danganronpa the animation, but that wasn't very negative. I'll tell you right now, though, I've recorded my review of Fast 4. I am legitimately angry in that. I really lost it for a while because that movie is just so bad. It's so bad, and the rest of the franchise is so damn good. It doesn't even try, but the director makes it out like he is trying, and I'm just like, I'm gonna warn everyone again, like, that this legitimately is one of the few times I actually got angry in a video, like legitimately angry to the point where I started yelling. Outside of maybe the Captain Buggy arc, maybe.
And you'll probably be doing something similar when you get to East One.
Oh yeah. That game.
I was there.
Do you know how long it takes to beat the goddamn final boss? An hour and 45 minutes? I lost count.
This is literally a case of nobody got time for that.
Yeah. Ain't nobody got time for that shit.
Help, I'm trapped. Even though I could probably squeeze out from between the teeth. Just
I could help myself, but let me help you help me help you.
okay, now he's trapped inside like a vortex bubble thing. That makes more sense, but still.
I mean, honestly, this version of the game makes a little bit more sense than, say, the previous one where he's just like inside a cage and he could easily get out. But even still, the premise of the parasite cage, it's a badly designed boss fight. I will freely admit that this is probably one of my least favorite boss fights of the first game, simply because it's a parasite. It's not even like, it is heartless, but it doesn't feel like as epic or as important as any of the other boss fights. Like, I hated Deep Jungle, but Clayton was at least a worthy boss fight, and so was his Heartless. This not so much. And it's just like, hey, I'm gonna add acid to make things harder. Like, why? Why stomach acid in this one place? There's stomach acid doesn't appear anywhere else in Monstro.
Maybe this is the only place where you're actually in his stomach.
Yeah, that's true.
You could have been going through like the large intestine and not know it.
And now we have Kidney Land, hosted by Walt's Kidney.
It's Walt Kidney. Wait, no referencing Butch Hart.
Pirates of the Pancreas. I worked really hard on that one.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Okay, by jumping around inside of him, Pinocchio gets out. Not me defeating the Heartless. And now his heart goes out. Okay. Aw, Kitty's having
the power was inside of you all along, Pinocchio.
My kitty's having a dream. She's twitching. Aww. Poor
I know
kitty.
how he can get out. Pinocchio, tell a lie. I'm wearing lady's underwear. Are you? I most certainly am not.
God, I love Shrek 2. Legitimately, Shrek 2 is one of the best movies. I will freely admit Shrek 1 has not aged very well. It's a good movie, but it hasn't aged as well as I'd like. Shrek the Third is just
boring.
Like, I saw that in theaters, like, at a matinee, and I was bored.
Except for that one kind of mean-spirited joke at the beginning. I know a lot of people don't like cartoon reviewers saying mean-spirited for whatever reason, but at the beginning of Shrek the Third, when Shrek and Fiona are having that conversation, somebody busts in and Shrek says, "Somebody better be dying," and the king is literally dying.
The thing I don't
But-
like about it is
wow.
that they killed off the king. I honestly don't like it when you kill off characters that were legitimately good, unless there's a reason.
I actually did like the King's Redemption arc in Shrek 2.
Yeah, me too. It's
'Cause
like
Once you learn why he did what he did, it actually does kind of make sense.
yeah, it's like, okay, there's circumstances. It reminds me of the new DuckTales episode. I'm not gonna spoil it if you haven't seen it. But oh my god, the new DuckTales episode. I was crying.
And
that
I really need to get around to watching that.
they pulled an Ice King.
I kind of saw that coming, to be honest. But I'm sure it was executed well.
Oh my god, they executed it so fantastically. That last like 5 minutes of the episode was some of the most well done I have ever seen in a kids shows. Right up there with, you know, what they did with McGucket and what they did with Ice King. So, I mean, it's a similar emotional moment. They didn't turn a crazy person into a sympathetic character. It's not one-to-one. But you know what I'm saying.
I legitimately did cry when we learned about McGucket's past in Gravity Falls. That was a very sad moment in the episode.
Yeah, the McGucket stuff was
when you
really
see
good.
everything that he's lost because of what happened to him, you really realize that maybe there was a reason he was crazy the whole time.
Yeah.
Even though they do still use him for random, I don't know, man, McGucket moments.
Like, that's the thing. They made him into one of the better comedic characters, and they really sold his comedy. Like, legitimately, I always found him funny. But then
You can run, but I'll still be in your nightmares.
why is there a Band-Aid on my beard? How does that make sense? Like, I feel very bad for him because they set this up, they make this fantastically funny character, and then the shoe drops.
But I do like how there is still some hope for him yet. I mean, I'm not okay. A lot of people, when a cartoon ends that they like, they say they want more of it. But the thing is, sometimes maybe a show should end. Like some people were saying when I reviewed the Jungle movie, oh, Hey Arnold should get another season because of this. And I'm like, why? They ended at a perfect stopping point.
Like, we got a finale. It's like saying I need more Samurai Jack, when I may not agree with some of the ending bits, but it had a legitimately great ending now.
See, I actually did like the ending of Samurai Jack. I know it was bittersweet, but I think that's kind of how it was meant to be.
It was always building to that point.
Yeah, a lot of people did complain when I released a video with my thoughts on the last season, because I did review the series before the 6th season came out, and kind of took the wind out of my sails because in that review I was saying that even though some people might not get the chance to follow up on their dreams, that doesn't mean you should ever stop. And I was kind of connecting that to the downfall of Blip and everything. And then Samurai Jack actually did get a chance to continue. And I'm like, I made this big inspirational speech based on personal events, and I tied it back to the show, and then it comes back. I mean, I'm happy, but I'm glad to be wrong in this case, but kind of undercuts that ending for me. But anyway, that's not what matters. So what matters is that it did get the chance to continue. And a lot of people were complaining when I posted my thoughts on it. I disagree with the argument that Ashi is a Mary Sue.
Ashi was a great character.
Yeah, because a lot of people were saying that because she's oh, she's supposedly the greatest fighter out of her sisters, and she gets to fall in love with the main character. I would agree with you if she ended up with Jack in the end, because the way it ends, I know that probably everyone already knows at this point, but the way it ends, it's not that simple, and that's why I think Ashi's character works, and I did like Tara Strong and Jack's and Phil Lamar's chemistry. They really do work well together.
Not only that, but
by the way, Phil Lamar, I think probably in this last season, he had more lines than the entire rest of the series combined.
Yeah, because a lot of Samurai Jack was minimalist at the time,
and it worked. But now you suddenly have Jack talking with his dark self until he goes to the George Takei monk and learns how to find inner peace with himself.
Mm-hmm.
I will say one thing. Yes, I do agree with one criticism that people had with it, and I wish that it had gotten the full 12 episodes, because that's how long the other seasons were. I think that I mentioned this in the video I made with my final thoughts on the season, with my thoughts on the final season, I should say, that if they had made they could have, if they had gotten the full 12 episodes, I think they could have fixed a lot of the pacing problems they've had, because there are a couple of things that still don't sit right with me about it, like how when Jack fought off his inner demons, he automatically got his sword back, he automatically got his old haircut back. It's just bizarre.
Yeah, like that was a little bit weird.
What I was thinking was that time could have been used at least for part of an episode where instead of Ashi just like seeing Jack in the shower like she did, then maybe they could have built up their relationship a bit more. Maybe it would have been a bit more believable that way. And then that also goes back to another issue I had with it, because I actually didn't like the adult jokes they threw in there.
I didn't mind.
I know you're on Adult Swim now, guys, but come on. You literally have the Scaramouche is a great character, but I didn't need to hear him say, "Looks like a talking penis." Like, we get it, guys. You're on Adult Swim now. You can use those kinds of jokes. And then when Ashi went, "Something's poking me" on the car, and it was Jack's sword, I'll admit that did get a chuckle out of me, but I was like, why? And I think that the other hypothetical episode could have been used for the final battle, because the final battle was a bit rushed. I do think that a lot of the part where a lot of Jack's friends came back to fight Aku together, and even though it was a feudal battle, it still ended up being pretty badass for what we got. But I think that a whole episode could have been dedicated to that. Honestly,
I feel like they could have dedicated 2 whole episodes, because remember the premiere where the fight with Aku had so many forms and so many different stages and phases.
Exactly. It built up the idea that Aku really was this all-powerful evil that couldn't be defeated by conventional means. And even though we have seen firsthand just how powerful some of Jack's allies are, especially, I love how the Scotsman is now a dad with like 500 warrior daughters
and a ghost.
That was incredible. I just love the Scotsman. It's one of John DiMaggio's best characters, in my opinion, other than Bender. But
yeah,
yeah, I think I probably just want to see more of Jack's friends. But what we did get with them, especially the episode where Ashi finally rejects the Aku's influence scraping that bodysuit off her, which looked really painful. But anyway, when she was traveling through the world looking for Jack because she had to find him again, and she met up with all of those people that Jack had helped along the way.
That was a good episode.
That sequence was pure fan service, but it worked because you really got, because not only was it a love letter to people who had stuck with the series for as long as they had, but it also was a better way of Ashi getting to understand just why Jack had so much influence with other people, because he's a good person that helps so many people, even though it often, almost all the time, it ended up destroying his own quest in the process.
Mm-hmm.
Although this is kind of a nitpick, but in the video I made, I mistakenly thought that brief shot we get of the pair of glasses at the battlefield, I thought that belonged to Extor, the totally not Dexter scientist who created the assassin androids, whatever they were called. Well, the Marauders. Those, but or at least that's what the preview called them.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought those belonged to him. But really, those glasses belonged to the Guardian that Jack saw and that Jack fought in Jack and the Traveling Creatures, which is really kind of upsetting to me, considering that with the new way Jack looked, it looked like they were setting up Jack using the portal like it was prophesied in that episode. But they didn't go that route. We didn't even get to see the Guardian fight Aku, which I thought was a really huge missed opportunity, because that guy kicked Jack's ass, and he was one of the few guys who actually did it. I would love to see Aku fight not Morpheus.
I need to go back and watch the series again because I don't remember some of these instances. But what I will say is this. I think it really needed a couple more episodes. The episodes that we got were well handled, if a little bit rushed in some instances. And the final battle, I will agree, was a little bit rushed. What I did like, though, was the ending. And I will defend this ending to the death, because this is what Samurai Jack has always been about. Back to the past, changing the history. All the people that Jack has ever saved are going to be rewritten out of history.
Well, not necessarily. They don't need to be saved now that Jack has prevented the possible future from happening. You knew this was going to happen because Jack's whole goal was to go back to the past and stop Aku and undo the future that is Aku.
Yeah.
I actually have, Rowdy, so I know. So
I like the ending to How I Met Your Mother, so, I think it makes sense, considering that there is no happy ending, especially because we've already seen that, some of these characters are self-destructive and they would end up that way, but the bittersweet ending that we got makes sense. It's consistent. It was planned. It made sense, and I like the way it was handled. You may not agree with it. You might say, oh, they should have ended happily ever after. Well, guess what? Life doesn't always work that way. Life is messy. Life is very, very messy. You're not going to be just handed a happy ending on a silver platter. You got to work for it, and even then, it's not going to last forever. And that's why I kind of liked the foreshadowing about what happened to the mother, because it was well handled. It was it was definitely foreshadowed from the beginning, and in several instances, and very well done.
That, and I will forever respect the ending for doing the one thing that I kind of wanted to happen in the back of my mind. And it had Ted's kids call him out for wasting their time.
Yeah, you wasted all this time just to tell us you like Robin? I mean, come on, we got that.
It kind of blends together in the college humor sketch that they made. I've been sitting here for years. I've we haven't eaten, we haven't slept. It's gotten so long that I've developed questionable feelings for my sister.
Oh god. But like that's the thing. Like I like what they did with the story. I like how they called out the framing device. I like how they called out the fact that he kept talking about Robin. A lot of the story is about Robin. And unfortunately, I don't like Robin that much. I like Lily, I like Marshall, I especially love Neil Patrick Harris, because Barney is the most complex character. But, like...
That and he's just awesome.
Barney Stinson, he is awesome. Barney Stinson, yeah, he's awesome. Barney Stinson... he is, like, he's one of the best characters, and yeah, he's a horrible, horrible human being. And he does horrible stuff, but he has reasons.
But he's definitely one of the best handled jerk ass characters you can get.
Like I think he's even better than Rick from Rick and Morty, because Rick is just a jaded prick, whereas Neil Patrick Harris has feelings and has to deal with them and has to realize that he's part of the problem. Tries to change, realizes that he's probably going to go back on his ways. And he kind of does, but then he only changes when the one thing that he never wanted to happen happens, and he has a kid. And I like that, because he didn't want it until he actually had one and saw it, and he grew attached to it, and that changes him for the better. Granted, he grooms his kid to be just like him, but to be fair, like he's always wanted a father figure, and the reason why he didn't want to have a kid was because his father was never there. So for him to have a kid kind of deals with the major issue in his life.
That I haven't seen that much of Rick and Morty, but I will say that from what I've heard, that actually is handled a bit better in the recent episodes, in episodes after that. But then you get stuff like Pickle Rick, which makes you wonder why they bothered.
Like, I've only seen season 1 of Rick and Morty, and to be honest, I do like the show. I skipped the Gazorp episode. I need to go back and watch it, but like
Gazorp feel.
But
he's Gazorp fucking feel, bitch.
One thing that I think Rick and Morty has a problem with, it's great humor, great satire, but they make it so much like they were supposed to side with Rick when he's often the cause of his problems.
It's weird because he has the same problem the problem with Rick is the same problem that a lot of people some people that ended up happening with characters like Rorschach from Watchmen. You're not technically supposed to sympathize with them.
It's like Thanos.
But because it's people mistake the idea that you're supposed to people mistake complexity for saying that this character was the one in the right the whole time.
The thing is, just because they have a point doesn't mean they're right. Like, Thanos had a point. Doesn't mean he's right.
Like,
he's not the hero.
Like, to quote Walter Sobchak, you're not wrong, you're just an asshole.
And that's why Tony Stark is not the hero, because when you cause the problem, you don't get to call yourself a hero, you're the asshole. That's a quote from Radio Dead Air. Shout out to Tara.
Yeah, Thanos wasn't the hero, he was complex. Moving on.
Yeah. But that's the thing, like, I liked Neil Patrick Harris in that simply because they clearly framed it like he was the bad guy, which he was. He wasn't in the right, and he understood that by the end, and he got better. He changed his ways, kind of, and he was a better person for it. Something that we thought would never happen, but something that did indeed happen, and to an extent, I think that really worked.
Oh, and one thing that you absolutely must see if you're watching if you're looking for clips from Rick and Morty, you've got to see the Two Brothers movie trailer.
Oh god, I did see that episode. The Two Brothers was great.
Except in a van. Except they're just two brothers, and there's
And then they're in a van.
And then the zombies attack, and then they're old ladies.
Old ladies, and then in space they're fighting and stuff, and then suddenly it's all just ad-lib comedy, and I love that.
Yeah, the thing, exactly. And the thing is, I am so jealous of people who can do improv that well, because I cannot think on my feet. See, even right now, you can tell I'm stuttering because I always have to think. I always have to think really hard before I do something, and that's it. And especially when I'm trying to think of jokes. And improvisation is the exact opposite of that. You have to think on your feet. You have to understand the situation and think immediately. How would my character act in this situation? I actually did see Take One Improv perform a couple of times at GlitchCon. They're really good. And it was really funny, and I've talked with people. Well, no, I haven't talked with them. I did talk with Tiffany Graham, but still, what I was saying is when you hear voice actors talk about how they got started, usually a lot of them have a background in theater, especially with improv.
Same here.
When you think about it, voice acting is a lot like improv. You have to understand a character. You have to understand how a character would speak, think, and act in a situation. Except usually when you're voice acting, you know the script. You just don't know how you're going to perform the character.
It's really all about the inflection that you add to your voice. And sometimes you make your voice all deep. And then sometimes you'll make your voice very high. It's a lot of improv. It's not very easy.
That's part of it, but you've also got to understand. You've also got to, in order to, well, I'm not the expert here, but in order to, but from what I hear, you've got to understand the character's personality as well.
Yes.
That helps.
That really does help, because if you want to know what he's gonna say in any given situation, you have to go, you have to utilize that, and it really is a bit of a give and take. Like, I'm still relatively new to voice acting myself, but that's all improv. Improv, voice acting. Anyway, we're gonna fight Larxene now, so I'm gonna shut up because it's time to beat up my waifu.
Don't let Ari hear that.
Oh, she already knows.
Too clever. I'm Larxene.
I love how coy Larxene is in this scene. She's just like, are you enjoying your stay here at the castle? You're the hero. You're gonna, peel away all the worthless memories. Problem is,
there's continental breakfast in the morning.
She's such a tease, and I love it. I love that. Like, she's just having so much fun being such a dick. Especially because she knows everything's a lie, but she's messing with the audience and Sora at the same time.
Do you know her? Is she here?
Yes, she is.
So playful, Larxene.
Guys are holding her captive somewhere deep inside the castle.
See, the bad guys are holding her captive here somewhere in the castle. And you obviously are the hero that's gonna save her. Although, I'm one of the bad guys, too.
I'm Mr. Bad Guy. Yes, I'm everybody's Mr. Bad Guy.
I'm a bad guy.
I'm a bad guy, so you have to go through me. I just love her attitude. I don't know what it is about her but I just like her conduct. She just being bad feels so good.
No.
Then suddenly
That's not
everybody
possible.
was kung fu fighting.
It has to be engraved somewhere deep inside your heart. Sora,
Who knew
you think
the
carefully.
Who knew the nobodies were taught kung fu?
Whoa,
Then
Yeah.
again, they all wear those black trench coats, so maybe they really are in the Matrix.
We do, I mean, they do have certain abilities. Like, some of them are very good at hand-to-hand, some of them are better at guarding. Because, like, Vexen, he shields the entire time, and he blocks any attacks.
Now I'm just imagining Xehanort teleporting around going, "Stop trying to hit me and hit me."
Oh,
Well, it's
That was
not
basically my experience with him.
That's right.
God.
Yes, she's the one that gave you that tacky little good luck charm. Not that you even bothered to remember. No surprise, seeing as you also couldn't remember her name.
Though the close-up on her eyes isn't very flattering.
Yeah.
Ever seen a shark's eyes, Chief? Kind of that dull eyes, all black and lifeless.
Larxene acts like she's taken a lot of theater lessons with the way she acts dramatically.
Very important to me.
Oh, it's important to you.
Talk about heartless. Ha.
Didn't even know what it was.
Alright, time for a boss fight, yo. This is the first real hard point of the game.
Saurus said, Saurus said, "Let it go." Foreshadowing.
I mean, really.
Freeze. Fire.
Lightning.
This is it. Take this.
Well, 10 seconds ago he didn't know what it was because we're taking his memories.
You're taking my memories away. Granted, it's still a false memory, but still, like, you know, it,
I love how the all-purpose kill-all cards that you get from the bosses for attacking them at their weak point is just Mickey's head. Mickey
Yeah.
is literally the magical nuke of this series.
I mean, he is if you pay attention to the Riku portion of the game.
I mean, I'm gonna say, I'm just gonna say what a lot of people have already said here. But if you remember how he saved and healed you in the fight with Vexen, and how he and apparently Minnie have light-based powers, Mickey's a goddamn paladin.
What's a paladin? You knew
Your
that was
knowledge of
coming.
Kingdom Hearts shall be great.
Alright, this move is the funniest thing ever. I'm gonna smash you with Goofy. I'm gonna use Goofy to hit you and make him into a battering ram, like you do.
I'll hit her with my head since there's not a lot of stuff to damage in there. Oh, yup.
I mean, that you're not wrong.
Okay, I haven't seen that. That's actually pretty funny.
It's called Wild Crush. I'm just like, okay.
Well, I say that, but then there was that one scene in 2 where Goofy got quote-unquote killed.
It's okay. My head's a good enough.
My head broke the fall.
Okay, crashed it.
which just reminds me of that guy from Kung Pao Enter the Fist. We trained him wrong on purpose as a joke. I use my headbutting your knee style. I'm bleeding, making me the victor.
I am the victor this round. Haha. Alright, almost dead. Don't stop me now. Don't stop me now. Bam! Because I'm having a good time. Having a good time.
This stream has been removed due to a copyright claim from Warner Music.
And now I have lightning. They call the card Thunder. Bam.
You've been thunderstruck.
You really are.
Cause you are the thunder, and I am the lightning.
Oh, does it hurt because it's the truth? You are just a
At least you didn't reference that stupid Imagine Dragons
If you're gonna
song.
be a baby, then here you go.
And
That sounds nothing like thunder.
I created another card.
people
for
need to
your
understand the
memories,
difference
you know?
between thunder and lightning. They call the card Thunder when it really is a lightning card.
Maxine.
Her power is lightning.
Just, but it's been called
Don't you dare
that
argue me.
since
Show
this
yourself.
is based on Final Fantasy, kind of. So, and it's been called it since that.
What's your name?
Sora,
Thunderhead?
she's not coming back.
Sora?
It's like,
I hate this. Why
Look.
do you need someone like that to bring back
what comes out of a cloud? Lightning.
his memory?
Okay. What? What part of the storm is what makes the sound of lightning? Thunder. All right. Now what is your power? Thunder. No.
Whew.
It's like that
Throwing that battle
Cool
wore
Whip
me
exchange
out.
from Family Guy.
Yeah.
Cool Whip.
God damn it, don't start that again. That was annoying. That was legitimately annoying because I hate it when people actually do that.
Well,
Vexen.
you better get used to it, Zen, because we're going to be here for a while.
By the way, hello Vexen. You have a very punchable face. I did a poll, and Vexen has the most punchable face in the organization.
Because he's a quote-unquote pedophile.
I just think he looks like an awful person, and even though he's a
He looks
scientist...
He looks like Severus Snape if he tried to go blonde.
Like, him and Lexaeus, like,
Well,
have the
here we go
weirdest
again.
designed faces.
It's just an
I don't
excuse
know what it is,
so
but they
you
look
can carry out the
ugly.
little
They look like they got
experiments,
beaten with
that's
the
all.
ugly stick, and they fell down.
Experiments are what I do.
Onto the ugly stick.
Whatever. You can do what you want.
It's like it's like
I think
scene in
testing Sora is just a tool for
The
testing
Simpsons
your
where Sideshow Bob is just surrounded by rakes and he keeps walking into them.
Yeah,
except
he just
with a
got-
bunch of ugly sticks.
That's pretty much what happened to Lexaeus, because Lexaeus is worse than Vexen in terms of his face. I'm like, no, you don't look like a human. You don't look like anything that's natural.
So is Zalden in the fucking mutton chops.
People actually have those, though. I mean, granted, it's horrible, but they do have those.
Just
We don't have
This,
time.
I'm just
We've got
no,
Saturday.
just Vexen just walking by, getting hit with the ugly stick.
This is all for the sake of data.
That, and I created a clone of this small child. Nothing creepy about that.
Was in danger.
I have an interest in Riku. Sora is just trash. Sora proceeds to beat Riku several times. He's still trash. No. No, he isn't. For one, I know he's not. Because he just beat Riku several times.
But
4
I do
times, in
kind-
fact.
I do kind of love that Dream Drop Distance kind of acknowledges that Riku goes through a lot more than Sora does over the course of the story. And this is kind of a spoiler, but the whole game is about the two of them trying to attain their mark of mastery, and Riku is the one who does it first.
Well, yeah.
I actually really like that.
I like that,
Riku's
too.
character arc in that game.
Like, Riku honestly is the better developed character, because while I understand Sora's development in this game, because his memories have been being taken away, and he's kind of going back to basics here, his character is a little bit annoying, very naive. He's very naive in this game, and I hear he does that in a few games.
That's kind of the whole point of Sora, though. He's supposed to have, well, for lack of a better term, a pure heart. He's supposed to be... He's the Goku of this series, basically.
Except not a bad father.
Yeah.
But...
In retrospect, Piccolo was such a better father to Gohan than Goku was.
Yeah. But we've been going...
I didn't even realize... Sorry. I didn't even realize it until Team 4-Star pointed it out, but they're right.
Yeah. But we've been going for 3 hours now. I've completed 2 worlds, Halloweentown and Monstro, and I've defeated one of the organization members for now. So we are essentially at the halfway point of the game. For Sora's campaign, we still have Riku's after that, but that's pretty short. 2 worlds, 1 family, goddamn. But like, we are getting there slowly. Once we get near the top floors, it's gonna go by a little bit quicker. But we're also gonna have to start grinding because we're gonna start needing to rely on slights near in the next few floors, and so I'm gonna have to grind for cards or use Moogle points to scum some cards or something. I'm not looking forward to that, but we made it this far. I think this is what, session 5.
Well, Johnny did say he wanted it to be more like Yu-Gi-Oh, and that's kind of the experience you get grinding booster packs for Yu-Gi-Oh cards you want.
Yeah, it's like we are gonna have to grind to get those cards. I anticipate it's gonna maybe take 5 to 6 more runs, more sessions to get through Sora's campaign. Riku's not so much. Then we're gonna round it out with 358 over 2 days. I'm planning to download an emulated version. I don't have a problem with this because I own the game. I've bought it already. And I'm gonna stream that. I'm gonna also stream the cutscenes for the movie for 358 over 2 days. Once all of that is done, since I know it's gonna take a while to 100% complete too, what we're gonna do for the streams at that point is go back and 100% the last run through of Kingdom Hearts 1, 100% RE Chain of Memories, because by that time we'll have the cards from 358 over 2 days. We'll already have completed 358 over 2 days with that. So we'll go back to through, do some cleanup, and then we're gonna stream Kingdom Hearts 2. I don't know how long that's gonna take to complete. I mean, I'm just kind of taking it by ear. I'm trying to get things done on my free time before January when the game comes out, but knowing me, it's gonna take a little bit longer. But I'm technically a third of the way through in my personal play time, and we're about 2/9 of the way through with this game, so make of that what you will. I probably won't be streaming Kingdom Hearts 3 until mid next year, if that. Well, maybe. I don't even know. We'll see.
It's not as long as we for it.
It won't be as long as the wait for History of One Piece. I'll say that much. With that being said, thank you guys for tuning into this stream. I had quite a bit of fun, even though we're still going through one of the Kingdom Hearts games that I really don't care about. So anyway, I'm Zenith Rule. Thank you for joining me on Twitch. Thank you for watching on YouTube. I will see you guys next time. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing Doki Doki this week. Just, personal things happening behind the scenes. One of our co-hosts may not be around for that. So if that's the case, then I'll probably do Prince of Persia tomorrow. And then I'll see if I can get in Wednesday stream as well. But we'll see how things go. Anyway, have a good one, guys, and I'll see you next time.
Hey this is Megami33. Thank you for watching Zenith Will Review. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more awesome videos. If you like what you see, check out the Patreon page at patreon.com/ZenithWillReview.